Yo, welcome to the Westman's Variety ShYo. What episode is this, Rufio?
55. We're still alive at 5 o'clock.
We got it. Episode 55 with the super awesome, super talented, super recognizable San Diego personality, Rufio Gracida. What's the third word? Whole name. You pronounce.
Rufio Gracida Cabrera.
Yeah, man. I like the sound of that. Cool. So, like I said, I'm going to hit a couple of events real quick, things that are going on.
Yeah, go for it.
There, if you were watching, hanging out, listening to that nice little edit, sorry, that's another one you can't have yet, but I was a big fan of the Raconteurs. You're a big fan of that band? You know that band ever? Jack White's band, the Raconteurs? Yeah, so that was a edit that I did of one of the songs from the Raconteurs. That song that was playing, that was before we came in. It was kind of a splash screen. Yeah, it's exciting. That was a fun one. It's not my usual style, like house or those tempos, like 120 to 130. It's like down around like either, I don't know, maybe 80. Yeah, it's like slow or half tempo, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, it's cool. That's fun. But some events real quick. I just came back from Mexico.
Wow.
What was that party?
Oh, you went to
Genius Loki, dude. I brought this just so I could hold it up so people could see their logo. Yeah. So that's the Genius Loki, kind of logo thing. I heard it was
badass.
Dude, it's such a special place.
Yeah, Cristo Lopez was at my house yesterday, and he was like, yo, I've done EDC, Thunder Wonderland. I've done all kinds of stuff, but this is like a magical place.
Dude, I went in there on, I suppose they're all magical in one way or another, and maybe depending on your first time, your 10th time, all that, right? But that party is definitely one where it's my second time. So, like, as soon as I got there, I was like, I hope they're selling tickets already for next year. Like, it's just like, and it's the one.
Now, is it on a peninsula?
Yeah, it's Punta Cabras, Santo Tomas, down south of Ensenada.
Okay.
And it's one of, like, I don't know, it's just, I feel like I leave there as refreshed as I got there, maybe more. Wow. And Burning Man, I don't feel that way. Although that's a kick-ass thing, Burning Man takes me like 6 months to recover.
Come back
like I'll go ahead and get the ticket and be like, I'm gonna get the ticket because they're hard to get, and I got the chance to get it, but dude, I don't know if I can do it again. And I don't feel that way about Genius Loki because it's like on the beach, it's chill, the camping's like pretty easy. There's no like bears running around, the property's not trying to kill you. Things
that's
like
pretty cool.
Yeah, things like that.
I felt comfortable and safe, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think like it's not crazy big. I'm sure it's over 1,000, but whatever. It's not like 20,000 people, and
very intimate though.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say primarily Southern California. There's some people from some other places that I met for sure.
Yeah,
definitely that you see some heads.
How far of a drive is that?
It takes about 5 door to door from PB.
Okay,
not bad. Yeah. Crossing the border, whatever. If you don't have any issues, probably 4 or 5. Stop and get a taco. Things like the mandatory taco stop. But that was awesome, and that flyer was still running on the front thing as well. Let's see. Other big ones I have to give real quick, because you got a whole shovel dump truck full of events we're going to talk about in a second. Let's see.
For me or you?
You do. I was looking at your Facebook, dude. You're like the busiest guy in San Diego. I knew you were busy, but I went and looked before today, and you're busier than even I thought. Considering what you were talking about before about social media, we'll hit that. We'll hit that in a second for sure.
I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to help everybody. It's like as long as you help everybody, the scene starts growing. That's what it's all about.
So San Diego people, Native Alien Contact. You going?
Yeah.
You gonna be out there?
Yep.
At all? Oh,
yep.
Right on.
Yep.
So that's an event for both of us.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, if you're San Diego, if you're wherever. If you're New York, might be a little late unless you're a crypto baller and you got all kinds of extra cash. You could just get the private jet and swing on out to
get my helicopter
Palm Springs and head over to Palm Desert, which I think Desert Springs, Desert Hot Springs. Yeah. If you got that kind of roll, then come on, join us. But check out, I think it's nativealien.com. I know definitely if you do Native Alien Contact 2018, Facebook, all those things, you can find it.
Yeah, those guys are OGs. They've been around, and that's why I want to go out there and support them, because like they're the ones that have been in the backbone.
And we had them on here, so go check out the episode. We had them on here when it was the old setup, so the video and the audio was a little more janky. We had some dropout. We had some dropouts, some echoes. But we getting super high budget now. We got the $5. We got the $5 microphone.
It might be their frequencies,
right?
From some other planet.
Blew my mind when I thought the whole thing Alien had something to do with like aliens, because I'm always talking about the aliens with them. And then they were on the show, and I asked Tom, "What's the whole name?" He totally is like, "It's really got nothing to do with aliens. It has to do with like alien like crossing border, like that style thing." And like I'm like, he's like, but for whatever reason, it got associated with like alien beings. It's all good, dude. Whatever works. It used to be a clothing
That's
brand.
funny.
That's cool. But anyway, check out that story. Come to the party. Hang out with us. I can clarify a couple things. Like they have a range of ticket prices on there. You can actually get a ticket and just come to the parties nights, and then they have I wouldn't say higher end. They have a thing that includes maybe hotel rooms and tickets with that and all that. Because sometimes people hit that see the range like $100 to $800, and they're like, what? Like I can't afford an $800 ticket, but that's like rooms and everything for 3-4 days.
Fireworks.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff. So it's cool. There's day parties every day in the pool. There's nighttime parties that they move the Danley sound system inside. They got the Danley rig this year.
I know.
I went and helped them load it up this morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at the warehouse.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude.
I know. Tom doesn't fuck around when it comes down to that.
Nah, dude, he's serious, man.
Well,
and lights. He's a madman. All right, one other for me, other side of the country, but next week. So Native Alien Contact, I'm playing Friday night, anybody, with Joe P. And others, but I don't know who the others are specifically, but I know Joe P and I are back-to-back. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
You guys doing it back-to-back?
Nighttime. No, just as in our sets are back-to-back.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what time. I'm just letting people know. Like it's. I know there are other great people on there as well. I just don't know who. I just don't know who else it is. Yeah, because I didn't see lineup, time slots, anything like that.
Uh-huh.
Orlando family. I hit up a bunch of y'all on Facebook and social media, and we've been chatting. Really looking forward to that. That party is it is called the Oz AAHZ Breaks Rebellion party. It's got Kimball Collins. Like on the East Coast, Kimball's probably the equivalent to like Marcus Wyatt or something.
Yeah.
Like thick, dude. If you don't know who Kimball is, like that kind of history,
Rad.
And his parties at or Oz, that brand, have always been at the Beecham Theater, which is like this historic theater. I never played there, and so like I was really stoked when they called me up because it's like him, Icy, Keith McKenzie, and Scotch D from Dynamix 2.
That's huge.
So to be on that, I mean, I love all the stuff I get to do, but
that phone call and they're like at that venue you want to play. I'm like, oh my god, I've been waiting my whole entire life for this.
Yeah. And I got logo space on it. That's always my joke, like what size font you get on the flyer, dude. I got logo space. I'm like, yeah. So but there's parties like most of the ones I do are not. This isn't even a throwback party. It just happens to be a lot of experienced talent on there. But most of the ones that I end up doing are not those kinds of things. So that's a special opportunity to get to, it'd be like if you're a house cat and like Marcus says, hey, you want to come play Deep? I think that's his LA thing, right? It's been going forever. Yeah. Like you'd be like, yeah. And then he sends you the flyer and you're like right up there with his name. You'd be like,
it's like when Oscar P gave me the opportunity to play
at
one of his nights at Afro Night. I'm like, I've been collecting that music forever, and it was kind of like, I'm like, oh man, how do I want to come into it? How am I going to blow his mind away? The guy, runs a record label and talks to thousands of DJs and producers, and I'm like, how am I going to blow this guy's mind away?
Yeah. Speaking of that guy, you missed the Oscar P show, go check that one out. He just gets into it for like 2 hours, man.
Guy's a boss.
We're all fans of Oscar here in San Diego and beyond, but certainly in San Diego since he's relocated here the last 3-4 years from his New York roots,
Yeah.
Last one real quick, and this one involves Agent 137, Kelly as well, is Electric Love Music Festival just outside Vancouver, Canada.
I saw that. I took a glimpse
I'm super psyched for several reasons. Number one, they sold out. Tier 4. I don't know if there's a Tier 5. Kelly, it looked to me like they sold out, but maybe not. Hit the website.
Damn, Kelly,
go check
you
it
got
out.
it going on.
Kelly,
Tier 5 are some, but not that many.
Okay, there might be some left, but yeah, don't take it as sold out for me. But I know the Tier 4.
Only 5 tickets left. Jump on it right now.
That flyer's insane, and I get to reunite with the Crystal Method homie up there. They're playing, and a whole big, long, nice list of others. They have 4 or 5 stages. It's outside of Vancouver, about an hour and a half or so. We've got some good friends going there from different places. Seattle. It's my 4th year. I've played it every year since the beginning. totally honored to get to do that
Yeah.
to the Canada family, and totally respect that. Yeah, man, that's the only party that I have been invited back to, like played the first year and then invited back every year.
Awesome.
So that's a real like for
You're a
me.
cool
That's
dude,
like
man.
holy
You're
shit, this grew. 500 people, maybe a little less if you subtract volunteers the first year. This year, I think they're at 4,500 to 5,000.
Perfect.
And I'm just like, whoo!
That's how it
They give us last year. They gave us our own stage slot,
it.
like for Juice for the label.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
same thing this year. So this year we got Ground Score and Kelly, Agent 137, and myself, and we're doing that Juice night out session.
Isn't it amazing when you start it from right here and then it just builds and builds? That's what I was telling my girlfriend. I was like, dude,
yeah,
like you just met me right in the middle, but now like after we've been dating for like 3 years, like you've seen this thing like just grow and grow, but like double and double. It's like, so right now I'm like, you know what? I mean, you go from here and you take your brand across the country. You know, you do it everywhere.
Yeah,
and
it's in little bits, you know, but
little
that's
bits
how
and
it
pieces.
works.
The word starts getting out a little bit, and then you go around the world. You know, that's the goal.
All right, so Rufio is going to introduce our unofficial sponsor. Who do you think our unofficial sponsor should be for today?
Oh man, what was it again?
Chris Cola's Liquor.
Sorry about that. I'm horrible at this.
So am I. Chris Cola's Liquor, man. Today's unofficial sponsor. We're drinking Elysian Space Dust IPA.
We're going outer space right now.
We brought along Rufio, first guest ever to bring along crowd noise, official crowd noise. We got extra laughs in back, so we throw up our hands. We expect some clanking back there. Never had that on the show before, so that's totally awesome.
What that was. I didn't know. I thought maybe we just had like a little.
No, that's
She's
right.
over there coaching me. She's like.
She's over there like, damn, this is a long introduction.
You're sweating.
Do you need a towel? No, that's all good. But you, man. So you were. I was listening to you and Kelly mostly talk before we even got going. We thought things were live, folks, and they weren't. So Rufio was just talking along. But I don't know, man. Where do you want to start? Just some current events. What's going on? You got a lot going on. What's coming up?
Right now, I got a thank you party. We just threw a really awesome party underground. And it went really well, and I felt like I needed to get back to the community, so I'm like, I'm just going to do a thank you party. And at a very special location, and so I talked to Chris Herrera, and I told him, like, hey, he's kind of a hard guy to book, nowadays, and I told him, like, hey, man, like, you're doing something dope, I'm doing some cool things, let's get together, let's, like, cross-promote, help each other out, but I want you on board, but I also want you to play a little more uplifting, because it's a younger generation, and I feel like the crowd hasn't like helped you, like not like helped you, but they have. I feel like the younger crowd is like looking for something like more like for instance like techno right now is like blowing up.
Yeah,
they want harder.
Yeah,
they want to feel tough.
Yeah.
So I told them like,
it's a little bit. It's like a little punk rock aggression, man.
Yeah, they're feeling it right now,
about.
And I love deep house, love house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've been doing that, and I know the text about, taking it to like a whole nother dimension, bringing them into like people losing their like train of thought, and at the same time losing, time. They just forget about time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want to bring you in like that. I want to promote you in like that. And he said he was down.
That's pretty awesome that you take the time to think about, pulling a legendary guy a little bit out of his traditional element.
I don't like telling DJs what to play, but at the same time, you want to inspire them, because you go to clubs like DC-10 and Ibiza, and then like, I mean, they tell their DJs like, this is our sound.
Yeah.
You'll play over here at Pacha at their flower power show, and it sounds like this, and then you'll play at Amnesia for Marco Corolla, and this is what it's going to sound like. But at DC-10,
I'm thankful sound. I've never had anybody tell me that.
This is our sound.
And I understand it. Like, I'm not saying if it was people got to eat, right? So if it's the, gig of your life and money or exposure, whatever, I mean, I get it. But I'm just thankful that I haven't been in that situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a big shout out to promoters who, in part, I think because like the music I produce is there's a lot that may be similar, but then there's the outskirts and stuff, as you know.
Yeah.
And I think people hear some of that and are like, oh right, he's gonna probably listen to like what, or maybe they'll tell me about what their vibe is, and I like to feel like I adjust in the right way.
Yeah,
so maybe that's part of why they don't necessarily like sit me down and have a promoter DJ talk.
Well, I mean, it happened with Oscar P. I brought him down there, and I told him like, hey, this is what we're looking for.
He played that right after he did the podcast, didn't he?
He came in and played a 30-minute hip hop set.
Oh
Killed
shit!
It. Yeah,
nice, dude.
And I was like, beautiful.
That's awesome.
He gave it his own twist,
All
I
right.
told him like, just like be you, but at the same time be underground and bring in that acid like.
I was out of town, I know, because he was on the show. He mentioned it, talked about the event coming up.
Oh, he killed it.
And then I was out of town.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And so so anyways, so Chris Serra is going to be playing, and so is Theo.
When is that again?
This is on July 7th.
July 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
so I talked to Theo too, and Theo's coming down from LA. And
All right.
Hey man, I haven't brought you down in like 5 years, so he's coming down.
Without giving away the location, how can people get more info?
You can just go under like my Rock the Discotheque page, or you can follow me under my personal page.
It's like Rock the Discotheque with a
Rock
K,
the
right?
Discotheque.
Yeah.
With a K.
Yeah,
Exactly.
got it.
Or I have a Enter the Tech page too as well.
All right.
And I just started like my friend told me like, dude, you need to do an Enter the Tech page.
We'll put it in the show notes and stuff, but just making sure we don't put shit that you don't want there.
No,
don't talk about it if you don't want it publicized.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be an info line. You can call a phone number.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
You'll see
Just
it. But I highly recommend it. It's a really cool show. It's very like intimate.
It's the 7th.
Yeah.
Damn,
Like
I'm not gonna
125
be here,
people,
man.
150 people.
Damn it, I'm not gonna be here.
But that's capacity.
Are you doing another one later? I mean, you'll do
Yeah,
another one,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course. Do you know
I'm
when
doing
it'll be
another
out?
one called The Secret Formula, and I do it every year, and it's during Comic-Con.
Okay.
And I'm doing that with Tomas Ideal.
What date's that going to be? Do you know?
July 21st.
Ooh, I am here then. Cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing party.
Cool.
It really, really is, and it goes good with the Comic-Con theme. It's all superheroes and villains and all that, but the location.
I think I may have to get me some proper like cosplay.
The
gear.
location is insane.
I've never had an opportunity. I think I'm gonna get
It's
it.
insane. When you go down there, you really feel like you're in the Batman lair or something.
Dude, they sell those the sock place over here now. So two things like Cameron Blackburn, he is part of this California sock company over here on Garnett.
Yeah.
And they sell the onesies over there now, which is
What?
pretty dope. It's really funny, dude.
So
And then
want-
yeah, he did an
Onesie party.
episode on here. Yeah. And Thomas Ideal came on as well, but he and I just played chess. It was the funniest, I don't know. We thought it was
While
funny.
you guys were on there?
Yeah. All we did was play chess.
Checkmate.
And so we couldn't talk. We were we were so
serious.
focused trying to play, and Kelly's like over there sort of talking and trying to ask us and remind us that people might be listening. And we're like playing chess for an hour and a half. It was pretty funny. We don't play games on here anymore. It's really boring. It's really fucking boring to listen to a podcast where people are playing games.
Playing what is it, the game Speed? You're like,
Yeah. Maybe if it was high stakes poker or something, but no. So
cool. I got that party coming up, and then and then I'm gonna have my 8-year anniversary at Thanksgiving party, and that's in November, and that's gonna be huge.
Right.
So that's why I'm kind of leading up into that,
Right.
building and building.
How many parties do you throw a year? You think?
Actually, I don't know. It's a good question.
10 or 12, like once a month, average?
Like once a month. I do like a smaller one, and then every other month I do a big.
But then you play. I mean, you obviously play a bunch too.
Yeah. I
That's
try
what
to
I'm saying.
play.
I went on your Facebook, dude. I was looking like all the dates. My eyes got blurry.
Yeah, I play in between that too. Because you're promoting the event. You want to show people your sound, and it's been going really good. I just moved down to San Diego about maybe a year and a half ago.
I don't know why I thought you've been here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to LA every weekend, and San Diego, just the music wasn't there for me.
In LA or San Diego?
No, well, I was going to San Diego.
From
because
LA.
I was living in Encinitas. That's where I'm from.
I didn't know that.
So I came on a spaceship to Mexico City, and then I was born there.
Spaceship.
And then from there, I migrated over to California.
I'm open to that.
And then I stayed in Encinitas, and then from there, I went to. I was going to LA, and that was just like where the scene was for me.
Did you seriously get on a spaceship to Mexico City? Were you born there?
Mexico City?
I don't know. You were born in Mexico City?
Oh, yeah, I was born in Mexico
Dude,
City.
I love Mexico, man.
Yeah.
I'm about as gringo as they come, but,
that's crazy.
I love it.
I threw a party, and then I was so excited because we made a little bit of money, and I bought my sister a plane ticket,
All right.
and it was like EDC. It was like the next weekend in Mexico City. So I bought her plane ticket, and when I saw the techno lineup, like,
you went?
Yeah, we
EDC
went.
Mexico City?
Yeah. So we went. We jumped on a plane or on a spaceship.
Yeah, dude. Might as well be.
Yeah, we went there and we had the fucking time of our lives. But the coolest thing is partying with a raver Mexicans, you know?
I have no idea, dude, but
Oh
I
my
want
God,
to do it.
It's insane.
I want to do
Because
it.
you have like the people from California traveling to Mexico City, and you could tell like they got their beads on, and like, yeah. And then you got your Mexican ravers.
Will you take me one day?
Your Mexican ravers are just nuts, you know.
It's different.
Oh, so
Different
different.
cultures, huh?
It's so cool. I'm like, oh, I never thought I would experience something like that. And
That was just, when was that?
that was probably 4 or 5 years
Few
ago.
years.
But it was like the trippiest part about it is we were like standing there. I bought a ticket for my dad too.
Okay.
I wanted to take him there.
You took him to
I
EDC?
took him to ADC.
Fuck yeah, dude. Cheers. I brought my mom all over the place, man.
yeah,
It's the best.
We went to the techno stage. There was nobody there, and we got there, but the sound system sounded dope, and then it was Pig and Dan playing, and I was like, it's just totally feeling it, and it starts filling up little by little, and I look around me and I'm like, this is so cool, and so we left and went to a different stage, and I was standing there, and all of a sudden I saw like something flying in the air, like, what the fuck was that? And then all of a sudden, boom, flying across the sky. What the fuck was that? And I thought they were like throwing around like stuffed animals or
Bag of Cheetos.
yeah. I was
whatever.
like, but there were people, and they actually like grab people and they swing. One guy gets on one side, so it's 4 people, and they chuck them.
Oh, shit, and
Chuck
catch
them in
him.
the air, and then some other like group catches them over there, and then they chuck them over there.
That's some serious plur,
Oh.
like, trust shit right there.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before.
I'm all plur, but if you add the T for trust to that, I'm not sure. Plur?
The only time I've seen that is when people get married and then toss them up in the air, and it's like, that's the scariest fucking thing ever.
Is that a Mexican thing?
I guess it's a Mexican thing.
I don't know,
I think
dude.
it's
I
a
never
Mex-
seen it at a fucking wedding.
Arriba!
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sincerely asking.
Yeah, it
Wow.
blew my mind away. I was like, oh. And then when I came back, I was like, dude, Mexico's not a fucking party. And I wanted
That's
to go.
for sure. But
I
I
wanted
just
to
never
go
seen
back
you throw
every
people
year.
in the air thing.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got to see it.
I have been to a quinceañera. I DJ'd one time. No idea what I was getting into, dude. It was when I lived in New York. It's when I lived in New York, man. Some wealthy people.
In New York.
Yeah, dude, some wealthy people rented out a Midtown Manhattan nightclub. And you're going to love this, maybe. So this friend of mine from like the club DJ thing, she was kind of just partier. And sorry, I don't remember her name now. She ain't watching this anyway, but whatever. But I knew her in New York. And somehow or other, I went to Spain with my girlfriend at the time. No. I went to UK and played a show
With
in
my
a
other
small
girlfriend
room.
at that time.
No, and played a small room. So I played a small room at Ministry of Sound when it was like
yeah,
peaking.
I was blown away.
it's-
I thought Ministry of Sound was huge, but it's small.
Well, I played a small room there, and then there was a big room, and Josh Wink was the headliner in the
Oh,
main
wow.
room that night. It was
Cool.
really cool. Anyway, this girl shows up that's friends of the girlfriend at the time. So anyway, vis-a-vis, stay in touch. And later on, I find out she's working for Hearst magazines. They
Yeah.
own like a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
sthis Hearst that's like got all the Hearst Castle shit up here
yeah.
in California.
Yeah.
Baller, right? And she's like, hey, we're, this is like 10 years ago. She's like, we're trying to mix things up a little bit with 17 magazine. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, we need like a 17 magazine resident DJ, that plays like club stuff, but can like tone it for, 15 to 18 year olds, Dude, I played for them a bunch of times in New York. They were great gigs, good money. They were always pro. And like they had me play in candy stores, I played in like an Esprit store.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but the thing was, it wasn't just like playing like at an Adidas store and like shoppers in and out. Like 17 Mag promoted it, so they like brought in their whole big like thing. I played a 17 magazine model call show. Like they promoted it and brought like the posse. Like it was their way to promote, you know, the magazine in the New York area.
East Coast.
New York City, dude.
Cool.
Yeah, and so anyway, that's by way of that is it was kind of my exit gig from the teen scene was a quinceañera. So these people rented out a nightclub, and you know, and I did this party for them. They just rented out the whole club, man. I don't know, $100,000 or something was probably what it cost them.
Wow,
dude, it was extravagant. You know, I didn't get paid $100,000, but it was good. It was good though. But I gotta tell you, it was funny because they were totally like, we want techno, we want like, you know, they wanted things that banged and high energy.
We want the forbidden dance and
just crazy energy, man. It was crazy energy. It was like a techno party.
So
for
how
a
long was your set? Like, did you from beginning to the end?
4 hours. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was like the dance section of the thing.
Did you get on the microphone too?
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
I gotta see. I want to go to that.
Fortunately, it was long enough ago where there wasn't like rampant social media and live streaming. Sorry, kids, it's in the archives.
Like,
anyway,
killed it.
that was my you know, that was my teen scene days.
Wow,
rocking that.
So wait, so you were what?
You were in LA. Yeah, I was 18 years old at the time, playing for all the, you know, 15 to 18 years old. Yeah, right. But anyway, so LA, man, that's how we got into spaceships. Yeah. Back to LA. You used to live in LA.
No, I was like people thought I was living in LA.
Oh,
know?
Okay.
And I was going there every weekend. I was going to the Orion. That was one of my favorite underground locations, and that's how I met Theo. And that's where everything started. You know?
All right.
I was like listening to like trance, but I wasn't into it. And then I was listening to like they were playing happy hardcore and drum and bass, and I just wanted to get down, you know, and I wasn't feeling it. There would be one song, and I would get down, and then I'd just like sit down, and then at 3:00 in the morning, Dio goes on and plays a funky disco house set.
All right.
And he had me grooving the whole night long. And I came out to him like, bro, like that was the shit. And like, where could I find him? And he just ended up, you know, he gave me his phone number, and he's like, here, just you know, send me a message, and I'll let you into the underground scene. And I'm like, cool,
nice, dude.
And that's how I started going, and I started going right into that. And so I started like going to the Avalon and all these like nightclubs and warehouse parties, and then yeah, I would come back to San Diego, and the only thing they had going was Bar Dynamite.
Okay.
On a Wednesday.
Was that Dance Classique at that time too?
Yeah. That was like 17 years ago.
Shout out Joe P.
Oh yeah.
And all the crew that's made that happen for all these years.
Lil Ryan Bear, you know, Andy Gomez, Dwayne. I was the only guy on the dance floor. And so I would go from Encinitas to there.
Were there girls on the dance floor, or you were the only person? Or you were the only person at the party? Sorry, back there, Marie.
I was pretty much the only guy there, you know. But I was there for the music, and I was like, "This is what I was listening to in LA."
All right.
And then like I heard of, you know, I started hearing about Chris's parties and stuff like that. So I'd go, but it was like too deep for me, and I was like, you know. I kept on going back, and everybody from LA thought I lived in LA. And everybody's like, hey, Rufio, what's up? We want to go party with you. I'm like, all right. So everybody jumped in the car.
Right.
We went back to my house. We kept on driving like, Rufio, where do you live? I'm like, I live in Encinitas. He's like, what the fuck is that? And then we came to my house, and they're just like, dude, you live like almost 3 hours away.
Yeah.
You know, they stay there, and like they jump back on the train the next day, but they're just blown away.
For anyone not from our area, you got Encinitas is well, from my perspective, cool town. You know, it's still in San Diego County, right?
Yeah,
it's in the county,
North County.
You know, there's it's north, right? And so and the beach there, which I'm most familiar with, is definitely home to like some legendary surf, some legendary surfers.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the greats flow through there because of the guys that live there. You know, there's probably a couple competitions,
I'm
sure.
Tony Hawk there. You got Bob Haro, who has actually helped me become who I am. He's been always pushing me. You know, he was a pro BMXer, and
they're from there. Close. Carlsbad.
Yeah.
They were here too.
Oh, cool.
On the show.
Awesome. Yeah, and like he brought me in, and I got this one tattoo. Came to the restaurant, and he's like. He was making DJ bags, you know, and So I was like, oh,
like this, like a messenger bag, but for your DJ stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
this.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Is that one of them?
No. He was making DJ bags, and Pioneer was like collaborating with them, and they were coming up with new headphones. And I just recently got one of my first tattoos. So he's like, oh, I'm going to have a meeting with Pioneer. I'm like, no way, I just got a Pioneer tattoo. And he's like, what? I'm like, so I showed him. And so I showed him this tattoo.
Oh, that's awesome. Dude.
Right?
Right. I guess it's a Pioneer tattoo.
He fucking lost his mind, and he's like, I can't believe you just did that to yourself. Like, I don't have one tattoo on me. And you just put a Pioneer tattoo on you. And I'm about to have a meeting with these guys.
It's an intense Pioneer tattoo, though, dude. It's not like you just put the logo on your arm.
Dude.
It's not like you ate some pills or something and just went and got a tat that night.
So around that time, I was spinning vinyl.
Show that thing over here. You can show it closer, man, so people will
It's so
see.
good.
For anyone that's just listening now or later, yeah. I mean, this is intense. This is like a whole.
Can you see that?
Yeah, this is a whole, Indian. I don't want to get anything wrong there.
I started off right
explain
here.
it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It started right there, and then the rest. I just started building. I'm still working on it. But anyway, so.
But the core, it's like an Indian with a sort of headdress.
Yeah, it's my dad.
He's wearing headphones.
It's my dad, wearing he's an Aztec, and
all right,
put my Pioneer headphones on there.
Right. And there's some vinyl record in there somewhere, a turntable. There's a lot in there. Cool. Yeah, cool.
I wanted to put a little bit of my history, so I made my own story, like here,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I showed it to him, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have a meeting with Pioneer." And so he takes a picture, goes and has a meeting, and then he comes back with a box, and he was like, "Check these out," and it's like new headphones, and haven't even come out. And so I'll check them out. So I tried them on, put them on. I'm like, oh, these are dope, man. He's like, oh, they're yours. He's like, whatever you want from Pioneer, you have the hookup from now on. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was playing.
Damn, even Kelly's
I was playing vinyl around that time, and I couldn't afford the CDJs. All my friends were doing MP3s and CDs, and like this is before the CDJ 2000s came out.
Yeah,
And I just started, having my CD collection.
Right. The actual for any of the young bucks, there used to be actual discs that went into players, not the vinyl. We're just talking the 5. What are they? 5 1/4 maybe?
Yeah,
the CD.
Yeah. So like all my friends that were, there were DJs were playing vinyl, and then they went on to the Pioneer CDJ MK2s and 3s. And I wasn't advancing. They were playing all the dope shit, and nobody was making records anymore. And so when I was trying to find records, like on dancerecords.com, remember Dance Records, right?
Yeah.
I would go on there, and it took me forever to find a dope track. I couldn't find anything. So then I would go onto the MP3s, and I'm like, oh man, all the dope stuff's here. And so I just started collecting it, but I couldn't afford it. I was helping out my mom with a restaurant, and I couldn't afford it. And then, a miracle happened. Bob Haro came into my life. And,
what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and, I showed him my tattoo.
Yeah,
and so they gave me the headphones, and they hooked me up with a bunch of gear, for like more than half off, because they don't.
Isn't it cool when things like that happen without you weren't thinking when you got that tat, you weren't thinking like, yo, I'm gonna get this.
No, not at all.
And figure out how to get Pioneer to notice me.
It just happened.
That's how shit happens now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, man,
I'm
not gonna lie. That's what we do with the unofficial sponsors.
Put some.
We're like unofficial sponsor break.
Function one right here.
Yeah. I'm gonna start putting ink on unofficial sponsor break. Urban Leaf.
Actually, I'm putting a function one sound system right here.
Yeah, we got Mike Hess Brewery. We love you.
Now there's gonna be a beer over here.
Yeah.
But anyways, after that, like I just went blasted off. And this is when the whole social media thing wraps around.
Yeah.
Is like it was like all the timing was right. I ended up getting, all this gear, and then I was on Facebook, and then I went to Mexico, and I went to BPM Festival, and then I ended up partying with the most amazing people.
Is BPM, is that in Mexico City as well?
No, that's at Playa del Carmen.
Okay, which is on the
Gulf of
Mexico side.
So it's like you land in Cancun, and then you drive about 2 hours out, And it's a magical place, and that's why they chose that spot. Yeah. And so anyway, so I went there and party with people from Canada and London, and gave everybody my demo.
Yeah.
And then from there, I got back and I got super sick, and I took people's names down, and I just recently got a Facebook, so people were just checking it out. And so when I started feeling better, I'm like, who are these people? So I go online and I'm like, holy shit, like Ibiza Zoo Project. So I sent him a message like, hey, you remember me? All of a sudden, just left it. Talked to another person. Talked to London, Canada, Spain, Italy, Japan, and everyone came back to me. Yo, what's up?
It's
we had the most
how
amazing time with
it's
you.
Funny how that works. Dude.
We want you to come and play. Like, we love your music.
So did you go back to Mexico or wherever and play?
I went
even
to
other
Europe.
places?
I went to Europe.
Oh, nice, dude.
I felt like I won the lottery.
Cheers.
I was like,
yeah.
I felt like I won the lottery. I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. I was screaming at my house because people from Australia were calling me. Like, yo, Roof. They were calling me Roof already. Like, I didn't even know.
Right.
They're like, hey, Roof, or Roofie. And I'm like, hey, hello, Roof. And I'm like, hey, man. And I had this big LED wall screen.
And that's all off DJing because you're not producing any music.
No,
right?
that was just all DJing, Yeah, I'm not
That's
producing.
even harder to do. Like, to travel DJing only is...
Oh, yeah.
My experience is way harder to do than...
Nowadays, yeah. I mean, like,
nowadays, you literally have to produce some music.
Yeah, exactly.
You
have to be a triple threat.
Yeah.
You got to be producing, you got to be throwing parties, your clothing line, whatever. I mean, you got to keep it going, So, like, for me, it's like I've just been, like, just doing my parties, and that's kind of like where I'm at on the production.
So you got the parties, the DJing.
The parties and the DJing, the music, so it's a vibe. So it's like...
You don't do any clothes or anything, do you?
No, not yet.
We don't either. I mean, we've done some T-shirts, like, just for promo, but not, like, trying to run a clothing brand.
Right. But that's the thing.
Not like Damascus or something, like trying to do that.
Yeah, like, for instance, you have Damascus. And
they
come up with a clothing brand, it hits, but then all of a sudden they're coming out with a record label. And all of a sudden they're coming out with parties.
That makes sense.
And it goes full circle. It's
sense.
like one of those things that they're going to end up doing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you started off a DJ and then you
100%.
And then you started making music.
It went DJ. Well, ironically, it went one party, which was great. And then DJing,
set it up, right?
Then DJing, and then that went for a long time with no parties. And then producing, and that went for quite a long time. It's still going. And then the parties, maybe the last few years, started to do that because the label, the Juice label brand started to get recognized, as well as my own name. Yeah. But there's a lot of people that also like the music from the label that may not necessarily be a fan of mine. So we've done the parties under the Juice, logo. Like Kelly plays a lot of drum and bass and stuff, and I love that and have made some, but people know that's not, like, they know I'm not going to show up and play a drum and bass set unless it was specifically for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, you have guys like Logo Dice, and then you have guys like Steve Lawler, those guys are amazing. They've been doing shit since the beginning,
Yeah,
They've
dude.
been killing. They kill dance floors. You go there and destroy it, But then, like, you go onto the record label and it's like you have, like, some tracks are dope and this and that, but it's like you would think, like, it'd be all badass, but
it's funny you said that because, like, it's like I mean, we've tried really hard, regardless of people's genre preference or whatever. We've tried really hard to make sure that every song came out was at least had like three main things. Like the artist was legit. The sound engineering is good, and the songwriting was good. Right. Like, kind of the creative versus the engineering.
Well, that's what makes it
try to make sure that it is good, and then it may not be something that I even would play. But whatever.
I'm like, maybe it might be so futuristic that I'm not into it now, but I'll be into it later.
Yeah.
And or maybe they're playing music that they're not releasing yet until 5 years later, and that's kind of the case.
Well, the funny thing I think that happens with that is that, and like majors or bigger labels can't really do this because, like, we've never really run the label to be the profit machine, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But the difference when, nobody wants to lose money, but you're also maybe not trying to buy a yacht. Right. So the difference between a label that is intentionally trying to, let's just call it, buy a yacht, and a label that's trying to not lose money but to have a lot of variety, maybe. In my opinion, the difference is that you reach different fans that may find you through, a 100 BPM song, and then realize, like you were saying, they might go to your Beatport or your Spotify or whatever and be like listening through, and maybe it's not all the same as whatever attracted them there, but it's all, again, got good sound engineering and good songwriting, and they can respect that for whatever genre it is, even if it's not like what they are going to go buy or whatever.
Yeah.
And the way streaming is nowadays, I mean, shit, dude, whatever. Listen to a song and move on.
Yeah.
It's not like you bought a $12 record and you're like, oh man, I bought from that label. I bought from that label from some store in Europe, and it cost me $25 to ship it here.
I was spend $14 on a song, and it would only be that song.
And it's trance, and I don't like trance.
And now the other ones are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But $14 on a track. That's why it blows my mind. Like why are people, actually going there and spending $2 on a track?
Let me ask you this: like, would you agree with me that let's say current generation entering adulthood, 18 to 21, whatever in that range, 18 to 25, they don't. I really don't think they. I don't think they know or maybe necessarily care about vinyl or a CD. Probably even an MP3. I think it's strictly streaming, unless they DJ or produce.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't DJ or produce, I think, yeah, like if they don't DJ or produce,
they don't buy music.
I actually think there's zero value in music. Period.
Well, you could tell,
unless you're a DJ or producer. What do you think, Kelly Ross?
Yeah, what do you think? Say something.
She's probably on social media defending me.
Well, you're getting some laughter.
I think it's true. I don't know. Weigh in, man. Whatever. So, I don't know. I mean, I buy all the music I play, but again, I'm a DJ producer. So I'm just saying, if you're not DJing or producing and you don't need the files, like if I wasn't, I wouldn't. I'd just have my $10 Spotify thing and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Well, Spotify, SoundCloud, game over.
It depends how deep you get into it.
Well, I mean, Spotify, SoundCloud. Well, that's a good question. So if it's not on Spotify or SoundCloud, where else do you go to find music?
Traxsource. I used to go on Beatport, but now I use Traxsource.
Do you feel like you find music in the traditional download stores that you can't find other places?
No, you SoundCloud. It's got some pretty good gems. You got to do your research, but my go-to is Traxsource.
All right.
I go to Traxsource, and because of the the genres I play, like Afro, techno, minimal, acid, break beats, sexy, psychedelic, I'm like always like going to them, and that's something I can't really find on Beatport.
Yeah, well, variety for sure.
For variety for that type of music.
But I think pretty much everybody probably posts their shit to either SoundCloud or YouTube, right?
Yeah. I mean, SoundCloud has always been there. I remember there were people were saying there was a rumor they were going out of business and they're gonna sell it.
Yeah, they were gonna it would get acquired by Pandora.
That's what happened to Beatport. Beatport was I guess they sold out. And when I heard that,
those guys sold it for like $40 million to a radio station guy, and all they do now is travel the world and play.
Yeah, I believe it.
They're stoked.
I believe it.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, well, when that was going on, I noticed that when I jumped ship to Traxsource, I was like, it wasn't the same. I was like, I'll go here and I'll hear a different sound, and I'll go to Traxsource. And I'm like, okay. You got guys like Kenny Dope, Top Terry.
Where's Traxsource based out
of? To tell you the truth, I don't know.
I thought maybe that would have some
I'm
influence.
like, maybe
on
Miami.
The way it is. It seems to have a lot more house music for sure.
Yeah,
and variations.
Well, that was their thing. It was like their house and variations from there. But then it just kind of branched out, and it's huge. It's huge. I love it. That's where I get my music.
All of it.
All of it. Well,
exactly, man.
Here and there.
So, dude, back to. Well, wait a minute. So you didn't live in LA. You did live in Encinitas. So a little bit more on San Diego, but only a year and a half. Wait. So you moved down into San Diego now, like not in.
Yeah, now I live here. Now I live here. My family had a restaurant from 1998 till 2016. So, good 17 years. They sold the property. And,
down here.
And in Encinitas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they sold the property like 2 or 3 times, and we just kind of got weaseled out, and I've done that my whole entire life, but, that was like my mom's thing. She wanted to do the restaurant deal. And
that's a pretty long run, though, man.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Most of them here in PV are like a year, maybe 5.
So I was telling her people in downtown too, the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, either you sign a 2-year lease or a 5-year lease,
Yeah.
and the people that've been there for a long time, they're signing 20-year leases.
Yeah.
Us, like it was like 5-year lease, 5-year lease, 10-year lease. And once it was out, it was like,
over 20 years, there's been a lot of growth.
Especially in Encinitas,
Yeah,
Encinitas was
the whole San Diego County,
mom and pop kind of shop, but now all the corporate businesses are taking over, and they tore down that whole block.
Yeah, like last I don't know, last episode or the one before. In fact, I actually went and looked it up because I thought I got the number probably wrong, but I was looking at San Diego growth numbers, and they weren't as drastic as I thought in terms of like the last 5 or 10 years, but they definitely were like, let's say over the last 30 years. I guess it went from like 500,000 to like currently 1.3 or 4 million.
Crazy, right?
And so that part got kind of fucked up wrong. But it is in the top 10 of American cities, which that's true. So, yeah, that's a lot. It's big, dude. Like most people I meet don't realize San Diego is like number 7 in terms of population in America.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a lot of people, dude.
I would love to.
Like
as I said, when I moved down here to San Diego, I was like, man, why didn't my parents ever move down here? Like, why did they pick like North County where it's like super chill? Now, if we would have been over here, we would pop, I would have been like probably like a cholo or something.
You'd Lee Reynolds.
I would have had like a lowrider girlfriend.
Dude, I was down visiting a buddy of mine. Since you said the cholo thing, I've always known that for one meaning through music and whatnot. And then I was down visiting my friend in Guadalajara, and he has one of those Choloitsu dogs.
Cholo what?
Choloitsu.
Oh, yeah, the ones that are shaped?
I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but it's XOLO, like ITZ, something.
You know the Cholos, right?
Yeah, it's like the Mexican, like a dog. It's like
this,
it's like the state dog.
Cholo, yeah.
The country dog. Yeah. And it has no hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So if you want to see the hairless dog, go on like my Twitter or Facebook @SwesSmithYo, and I got a couple pictures on there of the hairless wonder. It's awesome. It's the craziest thing, man. To pet an animal. You have any pets? Dogs?
Yeah, I do. I have 2.
They have hair?
Of course.
Yeah, just checking. Yeah, because this thing, like,
they have afros.
Well, when I first met him, like he comes running up and he's like all a little bit skittish, a little bit like jumping back, like, and I could tell he was a puppy, like super young, and but he has no hair, and so you like, on one hand, it's just like a super hyper dog, like medium sized dog. So I just want to, I've had dogs and owned dogs, so I'm just like, be cautious and make sure it doesn't like trip out and freak out or something and accidentally bite me or whatever, because he's a little excited. And then we got past that, and then I'm like petting him, and I'm like, dude, this is weird. He has no hair. It's like petting, like, the only thing I could think about is like if I was petting a hippopotamus, maybe like that, like
never petted a hippopotamus.
Yeah.
I think anyone has.
No, neither have I. But like, it's the only thing.
I was waiting for it.
It's the animal I can think of that like has no hair, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know. You go to pet a dog, it's not like you expect it to feel like a. It's a dog right there. Oh, look at that! Oh, that's a lot of hair. Yeah. I mean, it's like if you're petting a person that had a bad day at the salon. Well, like if they had a bad day at the salon with sandpaper or some sort of hot rock treatment that like boiled their skin, and then you pet the dog. That's what it's like.
That's funny.
Ew, that got weird.
It's like. Is that? Did we break the PG rating or just the weird rating right there?
Yeah, I think that's the weird rating.
telling you, go pet one. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I got Manny over there saying I call him Techno Cholo.
I know.
Techno Cholo.
I didn't know people were actually writing stuff on there.
I told him I couldn't get a word in edgewise, or else I would say something.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Kelly Ross, recap everything for us. What's going down?
Okay.
What's going down on social
Let
media,
us
Kelly
know
Ross?
what's going on.
It's time for
Ask me a
intermission.
question.
You can leave the door open. No one's
Track
anymore.
source. Track source is from Miami, Florida.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
I thought I said Miami or no.
They are
said
Miami.
Florida.
All right, they're Florida. Okay, we'll take
Sabrina,
that.
Sabrina says you can't build in San Diego anywhere.
Who?
Sabrina.
Oh.
There's no affordable housing, that's for sure.
No affordable housing.
That's why we're in a 10x10 studio with no air conditioning.
Yeah, I'm bringing a sweat over here.
Yeah,
Christine wants to
Because then we
know
have
what.
beer.
and the door open.
Christine wants to know what restaurant in Encinitas. She was born and raised there.
It was
What do you mean,
called, it
a
was
good
called
one?
Betty's
Oh.
Tacos.
Betty's Tacos.
Benny's Tacos.
Betty's Tacos.
Betty's Tacos.
Oh, Betty's Tacos. And Manny says Rufio calls me Techno Cholo. That's it. And go.
So what's up? What about you, Kelly? You got any questions?
We got it.
Oh,
What's happening, Kelly?
We do have a question from the audience. This is from Oscar P. He wants you to describe your entrance to your parties.
Oh man.
Without giving GPS coordinates.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Describe the tunnel entrance to your parties.
yeah, it's like you have to choose 3 tunnels. Each one leads to the same place, so you can't get lost. But the thing is, as you're coming in, you're gonna see like you're gonna see glow sticks guiding you the whole way, and it's about a 10-minute walk, and it's pitch black underground. So just imagine that being in a circle. You haven't been there, right?
It's like a big concrete.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
big pipe, right?
Yeah, I mean, so like just imagine you coming there and going into these like portals.
And while you're going through it, is it like?
No, not yet.
Nothing yet.
Not
Okay.
yet. Not yet. Not until like 10 minutes.
The bug grave.
Yeah, I mean you're underground. So anyway, so you go through it. You follow these glow sticks, and as you get closer, then it's kind of like a Alice in Wonderland kind of effect. You go into these big circles. You go into this tunnel, and then you end up in the middle of like 2 freeways, and then as you look forward, you see like these 2 rectangle tunnels, and you have to like kind of crawl. And
You
then,
use this in some of your promo shots, right? Like
yeah. I mean, you want to kind of keep it a little secretive.
I know, that's what I said. No GPS coordinates, man.
It's a private location.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, so you walk into there, and there's graffiti everywhere, like beautiful graffiti. So people come from all over the world and leave their print there.
Nice.
And I have one of my friends like, dude, that guy's from London. Dude, that guy's from San Francisco. This guy's from Mexico. So it's really cool when you get to see like this whole, world of street art. And then as you're getting into the main room, that's when you start hearing the music. And it gets, it builds excitement. People get really excited for that. And then once you get there, it's like we had like Joe P, Oscar P, Joe P and Oscar P. How you like that?
Same night?
I think so.
No, different.
I think it was the same night. It was Omega Squad.
That's why I can't have multiple people on here at once because I can't remember.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep track. But anyways, it's an amazing experience. You gotta check it out for yourself. So July 21st. I highly recommend it.
Tell me,
Check that out.
you got me kind of stoked on EDC Mexico, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's really cool.
Did you grow up in Mexico?
I was there when I was like a year old.
Okay.
And then I came here, and then I kept on going back and forth, and where I'm from is pretty dangerous. So
What area?
It's called Santa Marta,
Okay.
and around that area is like one of like the most dangerous parts of Mexico City.
Okay.
So,
Mexico City, but like an area, because it's a big city, right?
yeah, it's a huge city, and that's the reason why my parents didn't want me to be raised there.
Okay.
So they brought me over, and my mom was 17 and my dad was 18
Okay.
when they came to this country. So just imagine around.
That's some bold shit.
Yeah,
Can you
imagine around 83. I mean, like, would I do that? You know, so like around 1983, they cruised over to Tijuana, and you know, we were homeless, and my dad was crossing every day, you know, to feed me and my mom.
Right.
But we weren't living anywhere. We were on the streets. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's when my mom always breaks down and tells me this, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe that was my life. So like when you go to TJ and you see these people on the street, like that was me, you know, when I was a kid. Man. Yeah. So my mom and dad have a really interesting story. So, when they came, my mom ended up coming to Solana Beach, and then you know, time went by, and my cousins would come and visit, you know, and there was a point in time where my whole family was here, but they couldn't adapt, you know, because they're so used to that city life, you know, in Mexico City.
Right.
And so they didn't adapt, and they ended up going back.
Like what kind of things? Like is there like adapt in terms? I mean,
as far as like language, you know, getting a job,
sure,
you know, their kids going to school.
Right.
Well, my cousins, like, we went to school together. We're learning how to speak English.
Right.
And we were doing good, but their parents weren't doing good, so they went back.
Gotcha.
So so my cousins that went back ended up not doing so well, and so most of them are dead, you know.
Oh, that went back to Mexico City.
Yeah, I went to Mexico City. Some of them are fucking drug lords, and
wow,
you know, fucking hold people for ransom, and it's crazy because that would have.
Don't say any shit that they come after us for.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, they're most of them, like I said, they're in jail or dead. Okay. You know, so there's only 3 of us, like, you know,
right,
and we're here.
Okay.
So it was kind of cool.
Good move.
It was kind of a cool, you know, thing, you know, to realize that, like, fuck, if I would have stayed in Mexico City, that's who I would have
that's crazy,
been,
dude.
You know, because it's how dangerous it is out there. And now it's like, you know, when I go to Mexico City, I don't tell anybody that I'm coming. Like, I only tell, like, you know, my dad. Or, you know.
They live there?
Yeah.
Parents live there now?
Nah, my dad lives there.
Oh, dad. Okay, right on.
Yeah, so, like, you know, I just tell them, like, hey, I'm coming down, but they're like, don't tell anybody.
Dude, why? Like,
because, like, you know, I mean, it's a very poor, you know, so people are, you know, they'll do anything for money. You know? And ransoms out there, like, it's like a popular thing to do right now, because they're like, oh, I can kidnap you, you know, make a quick $5,000, you know, even though they won't do anything to you, but
the amounts of money are like,
but then, you know,
I get crazy. This was striking to me is like, you know, kind of getting a realistic picture of what the value is that can be important.
I mean,
a couple grand, you know?
Yeah, who would have thought?
You know what I'm saying, dude?
If I kidnap you and, you know, you're worth this much. You know?
Right.
What would they give for you?
Right. Agreed. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I would never even have, you know, ever thought of that.
It's a wild thing.
But
man.
when it gets to that extreme where you got to take care of your family and this and that, and, like, you know.
Well, it's like, I mean, before this, I listened to a lot of podcasts in addition to doing this one, and I was listening to the some of my favorites, some big ones, some small ones, but I was listening to this Fresh Air, which is really big, you know, with Terry Gross, and she had a guy on who has been doing like investigative reporting for a couple months on this whole like immigration, asylum, kid separation thing, and like we've all been seeing it in social media, but like for me, like, you know, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know, like we talk a little social media here, because like when I see stuff on social media, if I see it and people are super passionate about it, like myself, I think, well, yeah, if that is true, I mean, I'm pretty passionate and I kind of agree, but I never know like what's true and what's not when it's just sort of the public having emotions, right? But it probably means something, but I just don't know, so I don't get involved like in that way. But then, you know, so like something like that comes along where there's like a reputable journalist who's really talking about like basically pulling the pants down and talking about it. And then I try to wait for something like that where at least I feel like, you know, somebody with maybe 10 or 15 years of journalistic history, reputable, you know, has collected the thoughts in a way from a different variety of people to try to describe the problem.
Yeah.
And listening to that podcast episode today, dude, I mean, check it out. If you at all have any kind of like thoughts about this whole, immigration, asylum, separation, kids, this whole thing. Like one thing I knew for sure is it wasn't near as simple as it seemed. It's definitely fucked up. There's no doubt about that. But listen to this guy on go check out NPR, Fresh Air, and listen to this dude talk about that situation with his reporting and findings.
Yeah.
And it's grim, man. And it's a big fuck up in terms of, there's like the part of it that's like, like the philosophical part of separating kids and parents. I'm not getting into that. But when you listen to what has transpired, it's crazy, dude. And they can't get them back together. That's the craziest part. Is like what you learn.
Find the pieces to the puzzle? Like whose kids are these?
They don't know. And so what you learn through listening. Well, so things that are meaningful to me when I see something like this crop up is like, how big is the problem? What's going on here, right? Yeah. And so he talks about all that. It's like, 10, 12,000 families in this situation. So like that puts an order of magnitude to it. Like not that it should be more important or less important, but when 10,000 people or something are affected, the parents from kids, like it's a big fucking problem. Like how did that happen? Like it's not like 5 where you're like, okay, we can find them and fix this. It's like that's a big fucking fuck up.
I can't
and they can't track them, dude. So it's so crazy. They talk. Just go listen to the episode. But I mean, he gets into the very real and factual details of like the 5 agencies involved. How when they separate them, there's no interrelated tracking.
Yeah. And
so there's legal issues. They can't even if they get through the legal issue, they can't relate them back to the kids that were separated.
It just seems like such a long process.
Kids are young. They don't know their names. They don't know their family. They can't speak English and or anything. It's a lot of circumstances. When you start to listen, you're like, holy shit, this is a mess.
How the fuck did this happen?
Right. Yeah. So anyway, go check out the episode if you're interested in that stuff. It's a mess, man. It's a real mess. Yeah. But anyway, we are not a politics show here.
Yeah.
We don't do politics. What else do you like about Mexico, man?
Back to raver life.
Yeah, what do you like about Mexico, man?
I mean, I love Mexico, man. Like, BPM was awesome,
You ever been to Guadalajara?
No, I haven't been to Guadalajara. But, I mean, that's what I was telling Maria. I was like, I can't wait to take this show on the road and go through South America. That was, like, the goal. The goal was, like, okay, we'll do some stuff here. But the thing is, like, people.
Can I come?
Yes, of course. I'm like, we'll start our foundation here with everybody, and then we'll start building, get everybody on board, talk to the right people, give them a good show. But we could do this all over the world.
Yeah.
And I learned this from the Zoo Project, in Ibiza, Spain. Those guys are throwing undergrounds at abandoned zoos all over Europe.
And at abandoned zoos?
Yeah, abandoned zoos, right?
Wow.
Yeah, right? Who would have ever even have thought of that? And I
guess the good part is that they're closing zoos because that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have all this space, and they're like.
For anyone that doesn't know, we're like San Diego. We're the home of the Shamu debacle,
right?
With the fucking SeaWorld and the waves.
Yeah,
like people don't realize that, but we are the epicenter of that ridiculous situation.
Yeah. So as soon as they go out of business, we'll throw a big old party over there.
You ever watched that documentary, Blackfin? I think it's called.
No, I haven't seen it.
Is it called Blackfish?
Blackfish.
That's crazy,
That
man.
was on Netflix for long.
Yeah. I won't even get into it. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Blackfish.
That's a whole other topic. But anyway,
I have no more humanitarian opinions today. Blackfish, go watch it.
Yeah, so it's like
people are like, don't bring me down.
I know everyone's all sad. Like, let's save the planet. Let's save kids. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Is like you want to help people out.
Yeah.
You help your community out first, and then from there, as soon as you get a little bit of money coming in, and you get the right people, you can help the rest of the world out, And I learned that from the Zoo Project.
Okay.
They're like helping out the rainforest, they're helping out animals, they're helping all that out, and it goes full circle.
Is that like is there like how deep are you into this zoo?
I just got a taste of it. I was like behind the scenes when I went to Europe, and
okay,
they were one of the people that I spent time with at Playa del Carmen at BPM, and I mean they're pretty amazing people.
Have they just banned zoos in Europe?
I don't know.
I mean, are they like fucking?
I don't know, but the thing is, these guys they found
so they're finding them and
they're finding them around, and They don't just do it at zoos, but they do it in the forest. They'll do it like, magical places.
Is their goal like commercial? Is their commercial goal? It's all commercial, but is their commercial goal profit, or is it like do they give? Is there
They give back to?
Is there a charity sort of split or
a certain percentage goes out to like for instance like the rainforest or like helping like wildlife.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool, and I learned that from him. Man, I want to do that,
Right.
but I'm not there yet.
All right.
These guys are like bringing in thousands of people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to have people at the forefront of that.
Are you a tequila fan at all?
I like tequila. Yeah, I work at El Comal. We have tequilas there.
Nice, dude.
And so I've been learning about tequilas. Like
my buddy that lives in Guadalajara.
Reposados, Blancos.
Yeah, my buddy that lives in Guadalajara. He's been down there about 3 years now. So he had an episode. Kelly, what? Oh, we lost Kelly.
Kelly, where'd you go?
Oh, she's here, but she's here. She muted. She probably went. She lives on a boat. Did you know she lives on a boat?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if she has to
go
go
on a spaceship.
Yeah, if she has to go to the bathroom or like I don't know, whatever, cook or make coffee, fart.
Kelly,
whatever.
you gotta come to our house when you're in Cali.
Yeah, she lives in New York.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's on a boat.
When you come to Cali, you gotta come to my house.
Damn right.
Kelly, how's the boat life in the heat of the summer? We need a boat life update. Bring it.
It's pretty hot right now, actually. Is it
hotter in here?
We opened the door, man.
Feels better in here.
It's way better, right?
Is it better?
Our beers were starting to sweat.
Yeah, I'm like.
Tomorrow it's supposed to be 92 and pretty humid, so I'm pretty excited about that. I think it's going to be one of those days where we go swimming.
We haven't gone swimming. Water.
Yeah, so you're basically
just so everyone knows, like the boat is in the water.
Jump off your boat.
Yeah, well, it's not like you never know nowadays, right? Like there's this bar downtown that's called like Trailer Park or something, right? And it's like when you go in, it looks like a normal place, but you go in and they flip the inside out to look like the outside of a trailer park.
Oh.
It's kind of cool, And it's not the first time I saw that. There's one in New York when I used to live there that did that too, and all they sold was hot dogs and tater tots.
Yeah.
And like PBR.
Yes.
And it's amazing how well that worked.
Sounds like
when that's all you do is like three things.
All under the radar.
Well, there's no question. No, well, at least there's no question. You
Two beers, tater tots, $5.
You get the crowd, like you get the crowd that's interested in PBR, tots, and a dog. Nobody else, and like they come there to socialize. And there's an amazing amount of folks that are into that. I did it.
That's how me and Kelly met.
Yeah, right. Right.
So what do you do? Oh yeah, I'm a drum and bass DJ from New York. Oh,
well,
cool.
Kelly, so Kelly, like,
how did you guys meet?
Yeah, how did we meet, Kelly?
I really liked a song that
she stalked me.
Yeah.
He made.
I really liked a song that he made that Mr. Fix gave me, and so I started hitting him up, and I was like, yo, it's a cool song. Like Wes is pretty he's pretty responsive to people on the social medias, right? Yeah. So
I think so.
Yeah, so
Facebook tells me so.
He's at 75%.
Yeah, Facebook tells me it takes on average 2 hours.
Yeah, 75%.
75% response in 2 hours.
So he was pretty responsive to me, and then him and I played a show out in San Francisco together. It was for Fault Line, friends of Fault Line, and I tagged with DJ 138, and I'm Agent 137. So
yeah,
what are the odds of that?
Huh? I know. What are the odds of that? And so we got together at
we
that.
Music. Do you remember what the song was, Kelly?
No.
And now she's like, and so like 4 or 5 years later, she's like, dude, I don't even listen to your music, man.
I don't remember the name of the song, but I can come up with it, I'm sure. It's on a CD somewhere. There's a little.
So Kelly, I'll expand on this just a tiny bit. So Kelly has, for quite a long time, she has, first of all, endured my ADD with scheduling. That's one thing. she has relentlessly looked through promos, and tried to collect collect them all. But it's crazy because you get them from all these, like, you have to have an account for everything, and we've struggled with that. And she's barreled through that week to week for like years. So that, because like I threw my hands up. I was like, I can't do this, dude. Like,
so you guys been working for
yeah,
years?
It's been four years, Kelly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, longer than
maybe
that.
5. We've
Yeah,
known each other probably 5, but maybe working together because you went to Burning Man the first time I did as well, right? Or the second time?
I went the first time, but we didn't go together. But
Right.
I mean, eventually, like we just built a rapport, and I offered to volunteer to help him build his brand because I felt like Wes is very knowledgeable in a lot of different things, and I felt that I would learn a lot from him,
Awesome.
and
You
I
knew
could
I was
help.
going to start a podcast
Yeah,
and have awesome people.
This is
it's great.
before
It's
the
super cool.
podcast. This is way before the podcast,
Yeah,
and we.
And this is your 55.
This is episode 55, dude. Yeah.
That's
55.
awesome.
So yeah, we've been working together since probably 2 years or more before we started doing this.
That's really
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
It's really
And
cool.
then
and as you're like doing this, you're learning and you're asking like.
Oh, it's
more
great, dude. We
questions
get
and
like
get to know people.
Getting
that's
to know-
how I got to know Oscar P.
That's how this started. Like, we've talked about it before, but I have no problem continuing to talk about it. It's like the podcast started because I was listening to a lot of podcasts anyway for years, and then it just kind of hit me. Like, really, probably like Joe Rogan's podcast was the impetus,
Yeah.
like the style of it.
Oh, cool.
Not like to be it, but the style of it.
you're
Because I
great.
just thought I was listening to all these like. I was listening to a lot of like one-way podcasts, right? Like where they would tell some history or, whatever. It wasn't, and maybe some interviews. I mean, it never occurred to me when I listened to any of that it would be interesting to do.
Yeah.
But it was really Rogan's where it was like a bit freewheeling.
Like,
I like to call it freewheeling, and
because not everybody can do it.
Yeah, and
I mean,
as you will attest,
as
you will attest, there's zero preparation here. Like I don't have a list of questions hidden behind
I honestly
the camera.
thought you were gonna start like asking me all these questions, like where'd you come from? Well, you did, but I mean, it just came up as a natural.
There's a little bit of prep, but not that much.
Well, right, but there's no. But just so people watching or listening realize, like, because Rufio can see everything. It's not like there's no like chalkboard of the agenda or some production list, or there's nobody over here with like the checkered clipboard going, we got a timekeeper today, maybe, or like a sweat reliever.
Where's the West
today,
Smith
maybe, but that's
sign?
it. Yeah, we have a sign. We do have a sign. Yeah, but that's it. No, but that's how it started.
That's super cool. Like I said, that's how I got to know a little bit more about Oscar P. And
From this.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like I would see him here and there, and it's like, okay, cool, he's cool, But then you're like, okay, like he's even cooler now.
Well, do you find? Well, so what I find is like if I meet you're a perfect example. Well, people have come on here, but you're a perfect example today. Like, there's no way, dude, that I could have a conversation with you like this at a party that we see each other at. No way. Because if it's a party you're throwing, if it's a party you're throwing, you're busy doing your thing. Yeah. If I'm throwing it, I'm busy doing my thing. If I'm DJing, I'm probably thinking about DJing.
Yeah, we chopped it up for like
people.
Did like a 10-minute talk, and like all of a sudden, boom, somebody.
But that's kind of
it's
tough. It's tough, right? Yeah. So that's a lot of it.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, what I used to do back in the day was like I would like get on a phone call with somebody, be like, hey, so like, how did you get into it? Where'd you start? Like, I want to know everything about it.
Yeah.
And that's how I started to get into it. So like one time, like I got on a phone call with Chris Farah, and I'm like, hey, I want to get to know a little bit more about you. I know that you're doing some really cool stuff. And then like as he was telling me, I was like, we have almost the same exact life because he owns a restaurant. His family owns a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I see them do the catering.
Yeah, they've been doing it for like 20 years.
Places. Right.
So I was like, damn, I was tripping out. We're like the same person. But he's 4 years old.
I think I got confused throughout just listening from different people, knowing you and Chris. I think I got confused at some point that y'all were involved with the same thing, but it's totally different.
Yeah. Well, actually, it took me a little while to kind of figure everybody out. Okay. But now that I live here, so it's cool because you get to like socialize with them, get to know about them. I'm always doing my own like surveys. I'm always asking, so how'd you do this? I'm not trying to like steal your secrets, but I just want to know, like,
you can steal all my secrets.
I'm in the lair right now.
You can steal all the secrets.
She's back there, like,
she's back there doing panoramic photos, fucking like
taking notes,
synthesizer model numbers. Like, that's where that came from. She's back there hacking the studio computer.
You're hacked right now.
Downloading patches for bass sounds.
Good job, mate.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
He's figured you out already.
Yeah, it's the first heist ever on the Variety Show.
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of cool when you live here and you're building these relationships with people. You get to know them a little bit more, but not just that. It's like you get to become really good friends with them. You're like, this person's actually really cool.
Well, you mentioned Oscar and Chris Herrera.
Yeah, and like
who else has like been in San Diego specifically, like kind of formative?
We hung out with Jess. I brought Jess for the ride. Because like I said, I have my 8-year anniversary Thanksgiving party coming up, and that's like the little monster that keeps on growing.
Yeah.
And
I think Omega Squad played it last year, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a really good
show. The Prism?
No, that was Thanksgiving.
No, I'm just saying that's another one.
Oh, Prism, yeah.
Yeah. Another big event.
Yeah. So like having those guys on board, I'm forming a team.
Yeah,
I'm trying to try to get the whole community involved. Like, hey, you know what? Like, I want to take this to the next level because like if I make it, we all make it.
What other DJs? I asked kind of like maybe some people that were formative with you getting to San Diego. You talked about that, but what other like I don't know, what other parties? Because I'm always amazed at the depth of like parties. Like I run into people, dude. I was down at Genius Loki talking to just random and whatever. And then other San Diego friends that are pretty deep into music. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, Rufio is going to come on the podcast next week. And then people will be like, I don't know Rufio. And I think to myself, like, wow, dude, because, like, what it reminds me of is like
funny.
Well, I'm stoked. First of all, you come on here and they'll probably watch and then they know Rufio a little bit. But the other part is, like, it strikes me how big the San Diego music scene is.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, my friend Will always, like, jokes around and is like, hey, you know Rufio? Like, dude, if you don't know Rufio, then you don't know the underground. It's like
to me, I don't know how anybody would not know who you are.
The underground. Like, they're not supposed to know about the Rufio.
Yeah,
you're supposed to keep it low key, man.
All right.
We already spilled enough beans today.
What other? But so I asked people, but parties, like what other? There's so with that, there's lots of promoters, right? So what any other promoters that have given you opportunities to play, or you just
actually,
like their production?
Jason and Julia, they've always been like there for me since day one. Like whatever kind of help I needed, they were there, always there. And they're doing some amazing stuff. We've always been doing really cool stuff, and I've had their support the whole entire way.
I need to have them back on, like. I enjoy. I told you earlier before we went live. I told you that we have the whole entire Prism squad on.
Jason's he's the guy who makes all my flyers.
Okay.
And he's got a rich history, from LA.
Yeah, he does.
And that's why when I got on board with him, people don't know like who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah, dude, we just scratched the surface when they were here because it was more, like I said, it was more like Monarch as well as them, and we were really kind of centered around the Prism party.
Julia's amazing too. She's a total boss, and like I love having her all around, and she helps out like tremendously. With everything. With the promo. She's one of the few people out there that actually go out and promote.
Yeah.
And then when I saw Joe P and Andy,
she's on it too. When I played their party, she was like, you need posters, you need the square flyers,
you
need even paper flyers, digital flyers, all of it.
Yeah, even John Pavlin, like he just came into my life not that long ago, and when I got to meet this guy, I was like, who the fuck is this guy, But then I talked to him on the phone and got to know a little bit more about him. I'm like, man, this guy's actually really badass. And so like he wanted to kind of bring that that really cool, awesome house vibe to San Diego with a dope venue and a really good sound system. And I told him, like, hey, I want to help you out, because I like what you're doing. And same thing with Julia and Jason. They were doing really cool things, but they were doing it big. So I was like, how can I get all this into like go for full circle, and that's when Thanksgiving's a variety of music. You're gonna have trip hop.
I've noticed that with a lot of your shows, except for the ones that are specifically techno oriented.
Yeah. You're gonna have like trip hop, drum and bass, house, techno, minimal, acid, afro. You're gonna have all that mix in there. So people are always like, "Why do you like? That's kind of weird." I'm like, "No, it's kind of cool."
No, it's actually kind of like kind of like how it all began.
Yeah, I mean, you'd go to a party and you'd hear and have a good time the whole night. It's like you'd go through all these like different waves. And before you know it, 7 o'clock in the morning, time to go home.
Yeah, it's fun. That's a funny thing because I've found, well, I haven't always, but more like as the years have gone by, I found with all the genres in separation, people get very into going to something that's just that. But I think that I'm like 90% that's more of an opinion of DJs and producers and event producers than it is the opinion of the fans. Because when I started making different music than kind of the straight down the bowling alley breakbeat that like 2014, 15, I had some success there.
Uh-huh.
When I started branching in different ways from that, like I don't know if I guess I was surprised at the number of people that were just like, dude, that's a dope track. Like they don't like fans, like non-DJ producers, they don't give a shit. It's like because they're going to all kinds of events, dubstep events, drum. If they're still going out, they're going to. The reason they're still going out is because they're still interested in whatever the music has become. Like in many cases, like they're not usually just going out because it's a classic house night, maybe. But I mean, in general, like music fans are going out to a variety of what's current, including some live music, traditional dance music.
Well, right now I feel like what's going on is like, I see the transition, like we would be partying in downtown, and downtown was like hot shit, all these clubs. Yeah, like before it was Flux, it was like, there was like Stingeray, before it was Omnia.
I've been there some, yeah.
Yeah, and like, the Red Sea Lounge, remember the Red Sea Lounge?
I don't.
What?
No, dude, I've only been here. I've been here about 6 years.
Oh, yeah, Red Sea Lounge back in the day. But anyway, so like downtown was like the hot shit, But everything went in at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So where would people go afterwards? So that would be like after hours.
I know one place
at the Red Door.
I won't say where it is.
The nightclub, Onyx Room. I mean, there's only like 2 venues in San Diego that have.
Marie, you can, if you want, you can sit there and just hang. Yeah, I only closed it because of the vacuum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll pull this stool out for you. No problem. That camera's off. You can just hang. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's been kind of interesting seeing the transition from, from that era to like going into the underground warehouse kind of vibe, But as you know, in rave history, that it goes up and down. It's a roller coaster ride. Like you'll hit your peak points where it's going off like Monster Massive and those huge parties. They started off small and then they went huge, but then like bad drugs got in the mix. People started dying. Yep. People got in car accidents, and then the scene dies again, and everyone goes underground and people get married.
Where do you think it's going to go next?
It's always been underground, It's always that's the foundation,
Yeah.
It's gonna go to like the unique venues. Like it's got to be different. It can't be always at the same spot. It's got to be fresh, new. Either it's gonna be on top of a roof, or it's gonna be on the beach, in a cave, on an island.
You think the locations will get just kind of more exotic?
Yeah, it's got to be exotic.
You think these huge parties are going to kind of continue to get bigger, or and just like is EDC going to go to 500,000 and just have techno main stage at some point?
Look what happened at EDC. EDC started at a small park.
Yeah. With
like 500 people, and then they went to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Then 2,500 people. Then 5,000. Then 5,000. Then 10,000. Then and just kept on going. Where it was too big for the city, and they ended up like, what, fuck it, we can't do it here. Well, they went to Vegas.
So many of these, like Burning Man, same situation.
Yeah, it's like growing and growing and growing. I mean, it's everyone's converting, and that's what I'm saying right now. It's like the people in downtown are like starting to realize like the downtown music is not as good, and they want to go underground. And when they get a taste of it, they're just like, dude, this is dope.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
We want to do this.
Have you ever been to Burning Man?
No.
No. Yeah, dude.
I never had a chance to do it.
I didn't realize how, Kelly, correct me if we might need some Agent 137 recon on this one, but I think was it 86, Kelly? I didn't realize how early that thing started. And it's like, because one of my favorite podcasts for music is the Resident Advisor Exchange. You ever listen to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They like interview a variety of people, and they're kind of pretty strict interviews by the book, like to the 1 hour, and they're off. When I'm listening to things on there, and they're talking 20, 25 years back, stuff like that, and it's so far back, like predates some of my involvement, and then I think to myself, like, was that like the beginning? No, like the beginning? No. And then if you go look at Burning Man, it's like, Kelly, what is it, like 86?
Like when it first started?
Yeah, she said yeah. She nodded yes. I don't know if we can hear her. She's muted herself or whatever. But yeah, I think it's like 86. Dude, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
To be, and granted, it was small, like right, but the seed was there, and it's become what it has become. Like, it doesn't matter if it started as a nutrition bar, and now it's a 70,000 person, music oriented gathering.
I mean, for instance, like look at the Desert Heart guys, like they're from where I'm from, and it's Encinitas, and when I heard about these guys, my friend Eric,
but only 10 years. Think about that.
Less than 10 years,
right? Yeah. Less than 10.
Less than 10.
So 86.
That's why to me they're so inspirational.
Who's good in math? 86 to now. What is that? 30?
32.
32 years, Burning Man.
Yeah.
So, but how mind-blowing is it? You listen to something and someone's like, yo, 20 years ago we started EDC. You're like, wait, 14 years before that.
Have you heard of Glastonbury?
Yeah.
Okay. Glastonbury started up in the 70s, and there was only like 100 people. And
so it transitioned through
It's one of the biggest music festivals in the world, and I got a chance to be behind the scenes through that whole production.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And it blew my fucking mind away. It was one of those like.
How big was it when you?
It was like it was massive. The Rolling Stones played there, and it was their first time playing there.
It's definitely beyond.
I was in the middle of that crowd. I looked in front of me. There's thousands of people. I looked behind my friend.
I mean, that's like
my
half a
friend.
million. That's
my
a big
friend
festival.
Tells me, look behind you. I look because it's like sloped down. I look behind me, and I was like, holy fuck! And it's like on and on and on and on people. And I'm just like, holy shit! And
that's like Love Parade style, dude.
It was like, the whole European experience was, I was like a gift from God to be like, dude, this is what your life is gonna be, because I was working with my parents.
Yeah.
And I would pray to God, because I'm a firm believer in like angels and gods and, people that are positive. So I was telling everybody, I was like, you know what, like, you gotta send me a sign, get me something. And I finally nailed it, and that's when I ended up going to Mexico and met with the people at Playa del Carmen in 2012. During the Mayan calendar ending days.
Yeah.
So it was a really magical time, and then that happened, and then I went on that trip, and I learned a lot from it. But going to Glastonbury was like my last step. It was just like I went from going to like a small like party to like going to a bigger one and a bigger one and a bigger one.
Have you
it reached to that massive festival, and it had stages within stages within stages. They couldn't even announce everything that was going on their flight.
Well, it's got to be like half a million people.
It was a fucking magazine.
Agent 137. It was just Glastonbury 2017 crowd size.
Yeah, I mean, I was going through these magazines, like just going through it. It's like page after page of like all the talent that was going through there. People from all over the world. I got to hang out with them.
But they don't have as good a weather.
Oh no, it was you know what? Actually,
what was it, Kelly?
Well, the last one, it says 2005. 2005. So it said 150,000 people.
Dude, if it was 150,000 in 2005, then it's like, I'm sure it's like 500,000.
Well, I mean that's
in 2015 or something.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, that's what they have. Those are the numbers that they could post up.
Hit up Stamp Warriors and ask them real quick.
Yeah. Actually,
hit up Ollie G from Punks and be like, yo.
I saw them there. I have videos of me being in that at their stage.
I know they play there.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was fucking amazing. Yeah. Like the crowd was like kids.
It's such a weird thing, isn't it? Like,
and then you had people like the fucking Hell's Angels there, like fucking getting down, like. And then you had like just like old ladies getting down and like ravers. It was the coolest thing. That's the thing I loved about that festival is like, this is what I want. I want everyone to come full circle.
Have you seen? Have you watched the Netflix thing with? If I look this way, it's because I'm looking at a ghost. But we're getting crowd response, so we're good. Have you seen the Netflix After the Rave? Tommy Sunshine narrates it.
No.
Dude. Anybody who has not seen that,
Adding that to the list.
I know Tommy Sunshine from when I would buy vinyl records from Satellite when he in Atlanta.
Oh, Satellite Records, yeah.
In Atlanta.
I remember that.
Worked.
Yeah.
So I knew that store before I knew the New York, which was the HQ of Satellite, I think. And then they had one in Atlanta. And
Satellite Records.
He worked there, and I met him a few times.
Her record stores.
Always a nice guy, and obviously he's had a very long career doing all this, and he's in love with the music. But so happy for him, dude. He like, it's almost, go watch that. It's almost like, even if you don't know him or haven't met him in person, it's almost like, dude, this is what you were meant to do. Like, literally narrate this thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's 9 episodes, maybe 8.
What is it called?
After the Rave, I think it's called. And he goes, he's essentially like, it's almost like an Anthony Bourdain of Rave. And he literally goes and plays the shows, talks to people.
That's how I felt.
Hangs out on their nights.
Crazy.
And so it's around the world. It's not just U.S.
It's funny because me and Alexander...
Gotta watch it.
Me and Alexander Technique were talking about...
9,
we were talking about Tommy Sunshine because I had one of his... I had Alexander Technique's posters on my wall.
It's amazing.
That Barry Weaver put out. And he came to my house. He thought he hasn't been to San Diego in like probably 5 years. And he goes over and he looks at my poster and he's like, dude, that's me. And that's my crew. We used to travel. Like, he couldn't believe it. He was like, that's me. He's like, he automatically started texting Tommy Sunshine. He's like, dude, I gotta. Like, he was the master guy with it.
Dude, he's just been in it so long and done so many things. And I kind of knew that just from knowing who he was, both early days and then just watching him where I was not as connected to him for any reason. And it just, he basically goes to these different cities and it's like, it's a real great profile of the Netherlands and its contribution. And in every place he goes, there's a great mix of how it got going and then how it's currently going. And with the artist, So it's like Martin Garrix and then someone you maybe never heard of who was 30 years ago from Netherlands, who kind of was the radio dude or whatever that kicked it off, right?
Yeah.
And it's a really cool thing. So anybody go, like, hands down, go watch that.
That's what's been happening, you just kind of picking here and there, and before you know it, like.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's on there. Carl Cox, Oakenfold, like the whole fucking WMC, Ultra, like they're all the people are there.
And he's met all these people, and it's like, when he comes back to them, he's like, look who we've become.
Yeah. I was like cheering. I'm like cheering for Tommy Sunshine, watching him narrate this shit because I'm like, dude, that is like, that's the dream. When I went to
Ibiza, I was like, you saw these billboards, and it's like, Carl Cox is king.
Yeah,
it's like, holy shit, he is.
Yeah.
And then when you get to hang out with them, it's like everyone's like, you're hanging out with Carl Cox.
And what got me thinking about the Tommy Sunshine thing was because and the Europe and Glastonbury that you mentioned was because it's a really bizarre thing. Like, Stamp Warriors was who I mentioned in the thing, and they play Glastonbury, they do their punk stage or whatever their thing, and like you said, it's so big, maybe everyone, it's different levels of publicity, whatever. But I know for a fact, they Stamp Warriors specifically, international have been through a lot of the history that is mentioned in the After the Rave, series. Although I don't think I see them mentioned anywhere in there, because I almost think they fall in the middle. Like they're like in the middle, like 10, 15 years, because they go deep, like back 20, 30 years, and then up like last 5 years in the episodes. So you can only fit what you can fit, right? But point is they obviously, people like that. Stamp Warriors do shows, have done shows for a very long time around the world. Yeah, but then in America, it's just kind of weird because, like, it's not. It's like
not that big of a
different,
deal,
right? It's just a funny thing, man.
Yeah, you know what? It was really cool. Is like going over there, and when I landed, like my driver put on the radio, and he's like, "What do you want to listen to, mate?" And I was like, "Whatever." He's like, "You like drum and bass, like house, techno?"
Right,
like minimal disco.
Yeah, it's not like country rock.
He's going
talk shows.
Yeah, he's going to the radio station.
Easy listening.
Not even through like CDs. He's going to the radio and like clicking here and there.
Yeah,
and that's why when I see Tomas Ideal like going for the radio, I was like, yes, go for it. Like bring it.
Yeah, I
like,
love it, dude.
We need that. Like we're like fucking 20 years behind right now.
I love it, dude.
Help us out.
He
the comment. The Rave
on.
But like I said, I played on this radio show called London Live FM.
Hey, wait, sorry, I think we need a quick cheers.
Oh,
make sure everyone's hydrating.
Cheers, Rave to the grave.
Grave.
Cheers, Ross.
Cheers.
Yeah, so I got to play on a radio show called London Live FM, and I didn't realize like how this is broadcast or who was listening to. And as I'm driving there, or my friend was driving there, we were listening to the guy hosting the radio saying like, how is it going to come onto the show on the radio?
Yo, Autumn. Sorry, quick intermission. Autumn.
She's ready for the rave.
Oh, she's always ready. Come in. You're like the most impromptu guest ever. Always. Go over. You have to go meet Rufio, and then that camera's on. Her camera's not on. Autumn's back.
How are you?
Yeah,
look how
dude,
beautiful
it's exciting.
You are.
Let me
unheadphone.
Let me unheadphone. Right?
Well,
totally.
The screens are.
She's ready for the rave.
You hang out with my.
Did you come from a rave? Are you going to a rave?
It was the full moon glitter and gold drum circle and gathering.
Rad.
Yeah, it was so good. There was like hundreds of people and just drums and just like free spirited souls.
You're really coming back from it?
Just
that
now?
last night?
Where was it?
Yeah, that was last night.
Oh, it was last night. Where?
Pardon?
Where was it?
That was last night.
It was last night. She's still.
Are you ready
She
for
doesn't.
it, or did it happen?
Autumn doesn't acknowledge time.
Right? When you have
It's
such
just-
a good time,
it
you
just
lose
happens.
track of time, right?
There is no time.
Before you know
Time
it,
is man-made.
fuck, it's 7 o'clock.
Time is
The only
man-made.
time is love.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you on your way, or did you leave?
Oh, she's on her way.
I'm always just here, but always on my way at the same time.
That's awesome.
When you walked in, it reminded me, among many things, it reminded
Good to
me
see you.
specifically about yoga.
Yes.
So anyone listening, first time ever in my life, I've been talking to Autumn for like, I don't know, a month or more about needing to do yoga, and also discussing with her that people have continued to tell me this because of other sports that I do, and whatever muscles, these
That's
things,
you right
joints.
now.
So finally, she loans me her
Yeah.
yoga mat, and at Genius
Wait,
Loki,
camera.
I went and did my first yoga class ever with her mat. So I borrow the mat from Autumn, and I'm like, "Is there anything I should know?" And she's like, "Yeah, dark side of the mat up." So I show up at the class. I show up at the class, and it's like 50 people. And I had luckily run into the instructor by total accident the day before, and told her I was going to come, maybe. And then she's like, "Yeah, come, whatever." But I didn't tell her anything about. She just thought I was a yoga person. So I show up and I have my mat, and I'm like, "What do I do with this?" And she's like, and she's like, and I said I borrowed it from a friend. I was like, I borrowed it from a friend, and the only thing she told me was dark side up. She's like, "Yeah, that's a good suggestion." She's like, "Yeah, just put it down. You'll be good." It was awesome. It was fun. I had a great time.
And how did your body feel?
Great.
Mind, body, soul?
Great. Shoulders felt better.
Yeah.
Soul felt good. And it was total outside yoga on the bluffs. So the only problem with having that having been my first experience, the only problem with that is that now I feel like I cannot do this indoors. Yeah, because the stretching part is one thing, but when you get in, do you do any yoga?
Mm-hmm.
When you get into the breathing and at least in this case, you know, the instructor was just, you know, connecting throughout, you know, connecting, and especially at the end, lay flat, connecting to the ground, the breathing, all is one, the world, all this. Like, I don't know how I can do that if it's not outside, on the dirt, like on the ground.
Well, it's definitely another layer of the yoga experience, and just the experience of Earth with anything. Yeah. You know, in nature and being one, and you're one with divinity. Yeah. You know, you're flowing with. Yeah. But once you get like into yoga, you don't give a shit where you're at. You're like, I don't care where my mat's at. I'm doing this. It's actually enjoyable when it's super sweaty and you're like dripping and it's a heated room like a sauna and you're doing hot yoga, and that's some of my favorite yoga.
I'm hanging in there.
You know, you're hanging in there.
Do you know what I was thinking about the whole time? The whole time she was talking about connecting with humans and other people. Do you know what I was going through my head? Take a guess, somebody.
Technology.
Aliens.
Whales.
Oh,
Whales. Because 3 days before I had watched this magnificent documentary about whales.
Oh, duh.
What? Right. And I was completely I was completely sucked into the whole thing about how, well, at least the research having been done thus far, is a belief that the pods of whales truly, like, they never act as individuals. It's always as one, as a unit. And then they were talking about this. You weren't here, but a little earlier we had a shout out to, you know, San Diego SeaWorld. Not per se a positive shout out, but a shout out. And they were featured in this film about whales in terms of separating, because even earlier, we've been doing this for a while now. So
this is, by the way,
we talked about separating parents from children at the immigration,
this is
all this
shit.
And so we talked about whales and these things too today. Anyway, long story short, to the yoga thing was that the whales thing was part of that. Like, so when people were asking me, like, dude, what were you thinking about? I was like, whales. Because they were talking about connectivity.
That's great, though.
Well, I just thought it was interesting that the yoga class was very focused on this. Well, I thought it was. I thought it was interesting. This is what I honestly thought was interesting, was that the instructor, and as far as I could tell, most of the people involved, the consciousness was around connectivity in a worldly, earthly way, but around human centricity, like centric to humans. And in my mind, the whole time I'm thinking, but whales already got this. Like, that's what was going through my head, is like, whales got this. And probably other animals do too. Anyway, that's all. It wasn't like, you know. Yeah. I'm not going to go hunting, like, I'm not going to search to live with whales.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
I love that.
It was cool.
That's great.
I thought we have a long ways to go as humans, is what I thought.
Yeah.
To get, you know, to the love is a priority.
Love is a priority.
Or not even a priority. It just is. It just is.
It is.
Right.
It is.
You remind me of that all the time.
People just aren't acknowledging.
Right.
It exists. It's free. It's abundant. It's always available. Always. It's always the answer. It's always going to heal.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
People just don't use the most valuable tool that they have in their tool belt.
Well, we're still generally finding a place for it versus it just being all there is.
Everywhere is a place for it.
I agree. I'm with you.
It's the glue. Get deep. It's the glue.
It gets deep, dude. Anytime Autumn drops by, she's been on like 4 episodes. Kelly, do you know which episodes Autumn has been in?
It's always
the last 4.
Always. And he's like, Autumn.
I'm sorry, what's that, Kelly? Like 4?
I'm gonna say the last 4.
Oh, the last 4. It's like it's like a frequency thing.
It's a frequency thing.
Maybe we could get people to stop by from Chiba Hut.
Yeah, you want him to?
It'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool if they came in and made a sandwich.
It'd be
fucking sweet if they came in and made a sandwich and showed how they make a sandwich at Chiba Hut.
They need the whole thing.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring their oven in here for. Do
you want a beer?
No, thank you though.
Do you want a lowrider? We got a truck over here. Is it?
Yeah.
I'd rather take one.
That sounds like fun.
Do you have any message that you would like to leave to our audio or visual audience?
Just love and time is an illusion. It's not real. Oh. There's only love. Okay. Love is eternal. And with love, time doesn't exist, you know? So if love is so true, time cannot be.
All right.
Yeah. And we're all connected. We're all here for each other.
I'm down with that.
That's the point, is to help and to serve and to love one another. That's what we're here for.
If you see any really cool chalk, multicolored chalk love messages on the PB boardwalk, it's usually autumn.
I know,
maybe I do want a beer. This is what happens when I have one? Yeah. That's amazing.
It's a big mouth.
It pulls out.
Nice to meet you.
You too. You're all amazing. Beautiful. This is a beautiful group you have today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm psyched.
Okay.
Thanks for dropping by.
Today.
Oh my God.
She got her love mug. The last time you were in here, the last person ordered a love mug, and she got it.
We'll go visit the Love Mug studio right after this.
Baby goats.
She has an art studio. It's right there. It's right next door.
Manny's like, love conquers all.
It's right next door. I mean, you can't hate on that. You can't hate if you have a love advocate drop by.
No. Like you said, gotta love each other.
What's the
support each other? Like supporting everybody.
Yeah, you gotta support each other, love each other.
A bit of a 360. What's the Mohawk style, man? You've always had this.
I got this.
What's going on with that?
My hair used to be long like this, and
do you have any pictures of that?
I do.
Oh shit!
When I was a kid, so like it was like 90s, fucking Nirvana and punk rock.
Was that your thing before electronic music?
Yeah, I was into punk rock and heavy metal. My dad's a drummer, and he'd play heavy metal and rock and 70s rock. So I got into that, and then that's kind of where that background comes from. And
do you have any favorite bands from that time period, or?
Oh man, I got lots. I mean, tons and tons. I mean, you got the Doors, you got Led Zeppelin, and then moving forward, you got like you got my underground hip hop. Like from the punk rock era. Then you got I went into underground hip hop, and then from underground hip hop, I got into drum and bass. And then from drum and bass,
I can see that.
From drum and bass, I met this guy who ran a record store in Leucadia called
my favorite donut shop in the entire earth is
Leucadia. Leucadia donut shop. Yeah, so like he had this a record company called One Off Productions, and that's how I started DJing.
Okay.
And that's how I started my record collection. And I walked into this guy's like show, and he was playing really good, but there was nobody there, and so I was like getting down, and he's like, "Dude, you gotta teach me how to dance. I'll teach you how to DJ, and I'll teach you how to dance."
You're gonna teach him how to dance?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, "Down." So we ended up clicking, and I'm like, "Where do you live?" He's on Leucadia. I'm like, "Dude, I live in Encinitas." But as soon as I walked into this guy's room, he had records like everywhere. Like his walls were made out of records. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So, dude, I sell records. And I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah. Like I told you, I'll teach you how to DJ. You teach me how to dance. And so when I started DJing,
that's a pretty cool trade.
Yeah, it was an awesome trade.
Yeah.
It was perfect,
Yeah.
And like around that time, like it was. Dance music to me was kind of falling off because, it wasn't making me dance anymore. It was kind of like good song, shitty song, good song, shitty song, shitty song, good song.
I only found little baby pictures.
With long hair.
But yeah. But like that one.
It looks like little Elvis.
But anyways, like I was saying, like so like when this guy brought me along, my friend was telling me you should become a DJ. That way you could tear it up all the time.
Yeah.
And so I walked into this guy's room, and and I didn't know what to fucking do. Like I put the record on.
This was on turntables.
Yeah, on turntables. And so we got on there, And the song was starting. I'd be like already getting down, just like dancing. And like, dude, stop fucking moving. You gotta listen to the fucking song. And I'm like, I am listening.
One of the big dilemmas of DJing.
I'm like, I am listening to this song. He's like, yeah, but you gotta concentrate onto the next song. And so I'm like, all right. So I was like, all right. So then just hold it like this, and just like right when it drops, push it, just throw it in there. So throw in there, and I'll be in the groove. And he's like, dude, stop fucking moving. He's like, the reason why you can't fucking mix is because you're dancing too hard. And it took me like forever to figure it out.
It's so funny you said that, dude, about the moving and playing, because to me it's pretty funny. Like I move quite a bit when I DJ.
Oh yeah, and that's why I get into my groove.
And you can almost to me, I can almost always tell if someone's relatively new to DJing, because they are almost like a stone statue. Super concentrated.
But that's the thing is you're concentrating on like getting it perfect. Like you see guys like Mike Farina. You see guys like Mike Farina go on there, and he's just like, boom, he's in it, and perfect mixing, And then he gets in his groove, But then you get other guys that are just going on there on the dance floor, just fucking tearing it up.
Yeah.
But that's the confidence that you get after learning how to master how to mix, especially on vinyl.
I'm glad you mentioned that, and your roots with that, because I have absolute, first and foremost to me, it's not even DJ is a term with, I think, a certain turntables, ones and twos, whatever it is, CDJs, whatever.
Anybody
mixing.
can mix on CDJs.
No, I get.
That's why everybody's a DJ.
To me, the DJ is a ones and twos thing, so to speak. But you can also perform if you're able to, whatever. So for me, if you're that person that is the center of the entertainment at the moment, and people have come there, paid for a ticket, whatever. Fundamentally, I think your job is to entertain, right? With some artistic whatever.
Every element.
But at the same time, and I think that's awesome if you're doing that, that's great. But I will say to anybody listening now or later, I think that if because I hear this a lot when people have equipment problems, the sync, these kinds of things, the quantize, shit's broken, particularly when it's outside parties, because equipment gets messed with by humidity or salt air, or sand, or whatever.
You got the 850s, you got the 900s.
The crossfader doesn't work this way, but the up and down work. All these things, my suggestion in terms of fun and comfort is to think about, if you find yourself in a situation, you don't, but anyone, if you find yourself in a situation where you've left a gig or more than one, and your anxiety was from sync not working, or your anxiety was from quantize not working, or from a stuck fader or whatever, I soak that in and find somebody, if you don't already know the path, find somebody that can help you understand the original sort of the roots of mixing to where that is not a problem for you.
Yeah, it's like your
Do you
tempo.
Agree? It's one of those things, because then you really get comfortable. And none of this shit matters. You could literally be stripped of everything but the basic point of two things playing and some way to mix them.
If your tempo is not working,
you're good.
You're fucked.
True, because
that's
the worst. That's the worst.
If your tempo's not working, which is you're fucking how you're trying to make it sync.
Agreed. That would be the worst.
That would be the worst. If it's not working, then you can't mix it. But then you're pushing and pushing and pushing.
Well, I've had it happen
you're
before.
pushing your record, and you keep on pushing and pushing, and you find yourself fucking doing the breaststroke the whole fucking time.
Yeah, dude.
You're just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and then you don't want to transition yet because you still want to be in the mix. You don't want to slice it up because that the people out there that are watching know what the fuck is up. A lot
for sure.
Probably
I've only had the tempo fail on me maybe twice, and people know and they almost admire the fact that you're trying to
of the people
work
on the dance floor don't know what's going on, but the other 20% are DJs and producers, and record labels, and they run magazines. And
I think it's expanding though. It might be 50% now.
Yeah, they know their shit. They know their shit. So that's you got to be careful with, and I mean, everybody fucks up every once in a while,
Yeah,
but it's about mixing, when you're mixing, you know, it's not going to be a perfect mix all the time, but if you can save it and, you know, and you're not train wrecking every fucking track
to any degree.
Yeah, if you're train wrecking every track, then okay, you need to like take a step back and like, you know, go through the steps. But you know, if, you know, you're throwing in the mix, you know, and trying to make things happen, and you're doing remixing and, you know, edits and stuff like that right on the fly. And that's our like.
That's some next level shit, dude.
That's when you know, like you know that you're dealing with the guy that knows what he's doing. You know.
You still haven't told me where the mohawk came from. like 15 minutes later, dude. You still haven't told me where the mohawk came from.
Well, like I said, so like my mohawk came from I shaved my head, and my hair never grew the same. You know, so it would just grow out like this, like out
from long to okay.
Yeah, from long. So like before, my hair was like perfectly straight. And if you met my sister, like, see, like, how my hair was before, and it just would keep on growing, and so I started, like, you know, trimming the sides, and then I would put on a hat, because I wanted this slick back look, you know? Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, I want to be clean cut. But I couldn't do it, because I would put on a hat, and my hair would go straight back up. And then I, like, girls started liking it, you know?
Girls started liking, yeah. That's
I mean, I wasn't confident. I was
great.
I was really shy. I was really. She's got the lips, though, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. I love your style, by the way.
We want you on the show all the time.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, I started getting cute girls, and I was like, I think I'm doing something right. And then I just started like it started turning into kind of like a mohawk, and then I started getting even cuter looking girls.
Oh shit!
And then that's when I was like,
then you put the tips on it.
And I just kind of kept it like that.
Heidi Klum was like, "Yo, what's up?"
But then like I said, I was a raver going to LA,
right?
And everybody started calling me Rufio.
Okay.
And I started this crew called the Funky Tribe.
Okay.
And these motherfuckers right now are like traveling the world and killing it.
Now from LA.
Yep. Red Bull competitions.
Oh, nice.
Fucking.
There's more turntablists.
Like, no, these are b-boys. These are pop lockers. These are freestylers.
Okay. Oh, damn.
That's my background. That's how I started. That's like basically why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, because I started off as a dancer. You know.
Oh, that's okay. So that I
I
didn't ask, but that's why you had the dance trade with the homie for skills.
I started off with that and just went off and then started the crew, and we were killing it, and everybody wanted to be a part of my crew. Like, we want to be a part of.
Do you still do any of that or no?
I mean, not as much as I used to. I'm like, I fucked up my knee.
It's hard to keep up
my
with.
My back. Everything, you know, and so like it's funny because like my sister, like, you know, she's 12 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so so when she's like, you don't dance like you used to, and like this past weekend, like she saw me getting down, she's like, oh my god, like you're back.
Dude, we have this friend. Like, friend.
My back is back.
We have this friend. Kelly, do you know what episode was Bebe?
I have just no idea which one that was, but maybe I can look it up.
She'll look it up real quick, but we'll give people episode numbers, but
hey,
yeah, he's a b-boy, and
you got Lopez on there.
Awesome. He jumps in.
Yeah, he's on there.
He jumps in, and he did an episode with us, and he's from Miami, and he's still pretty active. Bebe, I don't know.
I thought you were saying Chris Lopez.
No.
Like, he ain't from Miami.
No. Another friend of ours, Alejandro.
Bebe
is his name. Bebe is like his b-boy name and all that, and yeah, he's pretty involved in it still, and he's traveled the world with it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like it's really cool to like.
He's younger than us, like, so he's still kind of active.
These guys wanted to be a part of my crew, and they're like, I mean, I had a unique style. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it was I don't know, like a flamingo kind of like style, you know, like a ninja. I feel like a ninja. So
flamingo or flamingo?
Yeah, I did.
Do you feel like some of that came from having grown up in Mexico and back and forth, or
no, it just,
you don't know why?
It would come out. That's, you know, when people like hear dope music, like people dance.
Did you have the influence of Spanish Mexican music, Spanish spoken, you know, traditional music? In your
well, actually, my mom, you know, she's a really good dancer. dances cumbias, you know, and like my dad has got that background too. So I kind of grew up with it, but I hated fucking dancing. I did not want to dance to their music.
To that.
Yeah, then we'd go to quinceañeras and weddings and like that. Like I'm like, no.
Yeah, the quinceañera I did was very different.
And then I became, then I became a dancer, and like that would come up. They're like, "Dude, we want you to get down." I would get down and be like this 14-year-old kid, like, da. But anyways, like I got more serious into it, and then I got into the underground scene in LA, and I met like Johnny Five, Slim Boogie, and these guys are like killing it right now. But you know,
this is all LA.
Yeah, this is all LA. That was like my life. These kids like looked up to like what I was doing. They wanted to be a part of the crew.
Yeah.
But then like, you know, the drugs were bad, and like Rave started getting popped, and scene started going down, and you know, people started having kids and getting married and going to college. And
it happens.
They fell off, but I still kept on going. You know, I found myself by myself sometimes, but there was no more battle circles. Like before, like, do you remember the Norda track? You know,
it
was the Norda track. Yeah, no.
I was like, dude, I was like, how did we like switch from fucking? How did we switch from b-boying to like the elliptical, dude?
Yeah, well, before,
bro, I think that maybe
the Norda track was like
ever
huge.
On camera.
The Norda track was huge, and
I know, but I just didn't like.
I can flare, I can windmill.
The only time I mentioned the Netherlands was talking about the raves.
I could do all this crazy shit, but I couldn't
exercise.
So nowadays it's called shuffling. Now it's at present time called shuffling.
Wait a second. Wait. Just bear with me 1 second. I need to breathe.
The Norda track.
He's taking this in.
I need to take a breath and understand that what you're currently doing is correlating the Nordic track to the shuffle.
I didn't do Nordic tracking.
No, but you're correlating the two together.
Yeah. No, Wes, bring it. Wes,
please.
It's a style of b-boying. That's what he's saying. So
what, Nordic track or shuffle?
No, it's not. It's not.
I know. I'm familiar with the shuffle, dude. I follow MIC Shuffle on Instagram, dude. And those girls are always like.
I've seen the commercial.
Oh my god!
What is this? What is he doing?
They're shuffling, bro.
High speed.
All right,
dude, and they do some twirls. I can't twirl in the chair right now and knock the guitar over.
I can't shuffle.
I'm telling you.
I can't shuffle. I can't Nordic track, but I can get down. You know.
You do Nordic hug.
Oh my god!
I can't do it. They try to teach me. Like I had this guy named Smiley at my house the other day, and he's a badass fucking shuffler.
You're still in the game.
And he's like, I'm like, how do you do that? He's like, oh, you gotta put your first finger here.
Dude, it's like the feet. You can't see my feet, but they just kind of go like this with the arms. It's fucking kind of cool.
And then I'm like,
it's like a little bit of a hopscotch jam.
And I'm like, all right, try this. I'm like, wow. I'm like coming down, like doing all this crazy shit. And he's like, I can't do that. I'm like, I can't.
Dude, next time I see you out at a party, we're gonna fucking shuffle.
He's like, it's not the windmill
I can't
anymore.
I can't
it's
shuffle.
The elliptical now.
It's the elliptical now.
It's not the windmill.
Master Dome style, exactly.
Kelly has muted her. She's muted herself.
I'm here.
She just muted her camera, not her voice. Kelly, could you please look up for us, like sleuth for us when the Nordic track was invented?
Oh my God.
Like when did that shit break out?
The Raver Nordic track.
I want to know if it was before or after, like Sally Fields with the hip thing.
Hey,
the winded mill.
Ask Crystal Lopez. He'll know.
The winded mill.
Ask Crystal. He'll know.
The shuffle hawk.
Yeah. Ask him. He'll know. He knows when the.
Ari Lopez. He says the shuffle hawk.
The Nordic track started. Yeah, because all the Asians are doing it. They're like, doing it.
When we went to LA. And they like do like this thingy?
I don't remember.
No, but they're like holding each other's hands.
No, that's a washing machine.
Oh no, that's not the washing machine. That's not the washing machine.
When I
Asians don't do the washing machine.
When I brought her down to LA, and I'm like, dude,
there was, like,
you gotta see this. Like,
they like hold each other's hands.
No, they don't hold each other's hands.
Or
they grab each other's shoulders and they go.
Okay.
And the male like controls the woman and shakes the fuck out of her like this,
like a rag doll.
And she's like,
that's not in line. That's not very in line with the Me Too movement, bro.
But doesn't that look like
right?
What'd you find, Kelly?
Oh, I'm sorry. So Jason said that it came out of the LA scene in the late 90s. And
into the shuffle.
It's like a few minutes into the shuffle.
that was Neil right
there. I love how this is like maybe 10 seconds delayed. It's pretty funny, dude. Watching like after it goes.
I know.
That shit's got to travel like, I don't know. They're probably like relaying this from India or something. Probably goes all the way there and comes back, and then we see it.
All right, there's Cristo Lopez saying the late night infomercials of Nerd.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hey, that dude that still to this day, the most popular video on YouTube is that guy doing the history of dance.
I haven't.
Pop on, like Kelly, pop on YouTube real quick and like look at most played, viewed videos ever. It's like at the top. There's like a little filter you can hit. I'm pretty sure it's like still
stand up Nerd track.
It's the most. There's a guy. It's like called History of Dance, and it's like a comedian, and he does about a 5-minute reel, and I'm pretty sure it's still the most played video on YouTube ever.
He's on Nordic Crack.
Nordic Crack.
Nordic Crack. It definitely is, Jason.
Did you find it, Kelly?
Yeah, Justin Lappley.
He's like a comedian, like a mid-tier comedian or something.
Yeah.
How many times have it been played? Like billions.
303
billion.
He's a millionaire.
Billion, dude. No, he's probably like dead.
1 billion.
Dude, this is like 20 years ago.
He's not even alive.
It's like the first YouTube video ever.
Oh man, I can't share my screen.
And he does this like thing, he does all the history of dance. It's like a bunch of crazy shit. It's like Michael Jackson stuff. It's like
the Nordic.
Mick Jagger stuff. Probably before the Nordic. Some B-boy stuff. He's really good. He's like tall, lanky dude. Go watch it.
Anyways,
it's free. It's free. You don't even have to have YouTube Red. Just go. It's free. All right. Back to.
Dude, I just saw your dance moves right now. You're just like.
Yeah, dude.
That was pretty awesome.
Easy.
That was pretty awesome. I saw it in slow motion. He was like.
Easy.
Show us your dance.
I've been known to pass it on, dude. All right, sorry. What were you talking about?
Back to my hairstyle.
Yeah, hairstyle. It's still mohawk. You got it.
We're still not done with that.
We got it.
Question.
It's really.
So anyway, that's
the weird part about this is the questions tend to like splatter like a tomato hitting the sidewalk.
Yeah. So anyway, I started this crew and they were calling me Rufio, and I just ended up keeping it, and it started getting longer and longer and longer, and then my family was like, I don't like your hair, like you gotta cut your hair because it's bad for business. And I'm like, no, it's actually better for business.
Oh, all right.
People recognize me on the street, and when they see somebody with a mohawk, they think of the restaurant.
Okay.
And they didn't get it, and then all of a sudden, like. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
We're sharing some hair, man.
Yeah, and then ever since that, I just got it, and that's the way that story goes.
We got to the end of it.
The end.
Dude, I totally had something I was going to ask you. Oh, I know what it was. So, let's talk about the color black a little bit. I mean, I'm just interested.
Like this?
Yeah, black, dude. It's like it's a thing, man. It's a thing, and maybe you may have some commentary as well, but it's like, so part of it, I've been amazed at how long, an association and really identification with, doing things black, as in just the color generally, not ethnically speaking, it has been a thing, man. Because it totally is now, and it's related with techno in a strange way. That's why I'm asking partly, right? It is, right?
I mean, like when I tell people on my info line, like we're black.
Yeah.
The reason why I
exactly. So
the reason why I've done that is because you can't see people at night.
All right.
And if you want to be under the radar, you're black.
There's a thing though,
you
like,
wear black.
But check it out.
You wear black.
But check it out. There's a thing where there's
black.
Check this out though. Like all the social media, I'm with that, and then beyond that, like all the social media has like a way to do, for example, all the emojis in black. Like you could do black hearts, you could do black fingernails, you could do like that's not in every color. that's why I'm kind of like
I'm a colorful person
actually.
You know, you come to my house and there's like color. Like,
dude, I got into music with goth. This is gonna surprise a lot of people.
That's fair.
Wait, what?
Isn't it Kelly, dude?
He's got a black G-string on right now.
Yeah,
he's like with crotchless too.
No, I'm dead serious. So the first what I would consider to be probably the first music I ever heard that was what I would still call dance music that I would now years later still call dance music would have been like Information Society. Anybody know them? Everyone's like, what?
Is that a vampire?
Go check them out. Not quite goth yet. I'm getting to the goth part.
Okay.
Not quite goth yet, but New Wave, yeah. So Information Society, of course, Pet Shop Boys was in that range. So the way I learned about these were through my sister, who's older than me. So that's kind of how I got introduced to. I'm just saying what I would call dance music versus like rock or U2 or something like that.
Yeah.
My sister was into all that. So. But then like more when I was old enough to go out to a nightclub or whatever.
West Shop Boys.
I'm telling you, man. West Shop Boys. So, but check it out though, the goth thing. I'm coming to it because people wouldn't really call that goth, but I'm coming to it. So Front 242, you familiar?
Yes, Front 242.
Yeah. So before 9 Inch Nails, Front 242 for me was like, dude, I fell in love with this girl.
Their beats are
at the time, and she was into Front 242, and I was like, whatever they're doing, I'm doing because she digs it. Yeah. So yeah, I was down with that, man.
Right. I mean, good music is good music.
And then of course 9 Inch Nails came out, on from that, and there was a series of
an Animal came out, and it was like, oh man, I'm in.
The Cure, always love The Cure, still to today. Funny, dude, I was in the smoothie shop over here in Bird Rock the other day. It was great. It was like this kid working the counter. He's like maybe 19 years old.
Yeah.
And there's a Cure song on, and of course I know what it is.
Yeah. My playlist right there.
And of course I know what it is, but it was so funny because he's not talking to me. He's like talking to one of his coworkers.
Yeah.
And the song comes on, and I recognize it in like one bar. And he's like tells his coworker that's making like the acai bowl or whatever. He's like, dude, this is the Cure who I was telling you about.
Oh my God.
And I was stoked though. I was so stoked though because I was like, you know what? That's like legit because I've always felt that band of all bands has like been one of the least contrived of all bands that's lasted 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And Robert Smith's voice is just I mean,
we saw him like 2 years ago.
Right.
I was on last year.
And sounds fantastic in concert still, right?
Yes.
Unbelievable. You know?
You saw Depeche Mode too.
That was last year.
I guess Depeche Mode was in that
span of one of our friends was their DJ, and he spun a techno set.
Nice. But they would probably dig that. Oh, Dude, first time I saw Robert Smith in concert, and I saw him 20 years apart. First time I saw him with The Cure in concert was like, I think it was, I don't know, Fascination Street tour or something. It wasn't quite Boys Don't Cry. That would be before me, but it was somewhere in there. And God, I just remember seeing him. Yeah, Wes integration. I remember seeing him like he's just crushing it with the Wesisms.
Yeah.
But I remember like I thought the simplicity, like the simplicity. The simplicity of their stage game was it blew me away, dude. I remember him.
It's all about keeping it simple.
But he was like the singer and didn't move a lot, and the black full length trench coat and kind of weird hair, and a lot of makeup, all black, and it was all about the voice and the music.
That's crazy. That's kind of like what I take everything in consideration when I'm doing a show, and like I'm still trying to like form the right team to do like the visual and the lighting effects. Like sound is really important, but once you have the sound down, you want to get the lighting. And I feel like we haven't done that in San Diego yet. I feel like no one has really. We got visuals.
There's some good visuals.
We got good visuals.
For sure.
But, I feel like visuals is like.
That's different than lighting.
Visuals is totally important. Agree. It's important. And it takes a skill. But lighting is like. It's going to definitely make you feel like you're somewhere else in another dimension, and it's gonna trip you out.
Well, techno events are like
it's a feeling like I mean, yeah, before, like, for instance, like
techno events are pushing white light to the limit.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, there's no colors,
It'll
bro.
fuck you up. It'll make you feel dizzy.
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes big sound systems will do the same thing, too. It'll make you fucking throw up. You know?
Yeah.
So that's why there's got to be a good balance, you know? So if you could get a good lighting system, it would be awesome. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I got a guy, like, that I've been wanting to work with, and I've only worked with him once. And he's fucking badass. But he's so busy. And I don't have the money to afford them, you know, but I just, like, it's been my dream to be like, to give people a lighting experience at a underground location, you know, and that's kind of like where I'm going for right now. That's like my goal, because, like, if we can, like, do that, we'll blow people's minds away. The minute they walk into that room, they'll be like, that was fucking insane. Like, you'll walk in there and be like, it was a cool party, but if the lighting was, like, down, like, cool. So that one thing is, like, keeping it simple, like, you know, having, like, you know, color lighting.
I think the techno, like, it's interesting because, to me, like, this is gonna blow some people's minds if they're under 25, but the techno sound is you know, that's not new, but it hasn't been in circulation for a bit.
With the Mohawk.
Yeah, but it hasn't been in circulation for a bit, you know, and one of the things I think has always been, you know, interesting to me about techno, like minimal techno, is like no words techno. Is like the fact that it is minimal, you know, and I feel like, because, like you said, like, it's definitely becoming a thing in San Diego for sure. I'm sure other places, and I think part of that is because some of the fanfare around the big productions, you know, it's like, where do you go if you don't want sensory overload?
Yeah, I mean, like, techno can get
both musically and lighting and sound, because techno is pretty fucking minimal. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, I mean, like, you have to have a balance, you know. You have to, like, it's got to be it can't be too repetitive, you know, because techno is really repetitive. But if you know how to mix it right, you can throw a break in between a techno set.
I'll look into that.
Right?
I feel like
techno,
when you're going to, like, with all the black
break,
it's like a
minimal
transition, you know,
acid.
From that music to techno,
and then just take it off from there, like you're actually, like, telling a story, and that's, like, what it's about. That's why, like it's important to travel, because when you hear other DJs represent their sound, you're like, that guy's pretty fucking badass, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, he brings you up and down. It's like, it's not like the whole fucking time, you know? It's like he actually, like, brings in all these elements, and that's why when you go on my event pages, like, that's why I always, you know, when you go down it, it's like the sounds of tomorrow and the music of today.
Yeah.
And then it introduces you to underground, house, techno, minimal, acid, afro, house, and break.
But do you think, even though, like, to me, one thing that's really interesting about all of that also is that if you get the opportunity to travel, which you have, with music, either listening or playing or both,
which I got really lucky.
It's still amazing, right? And me too. So I agree with you, and it's still like, it's really mind blowing how different what you like, what would be called an Afro house night or a house night or a trance night in Spain. It's a totally, and that to me is really cool, because as much as we think that things are homogenized through the social media availability, it's really not. Like, if you go and get into a local party in another place that's called the same whatever as where you're from, it's going to be different, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I'm saying it because I'm stoked about
people from Chicago.
Yeah. I'm saying it because I'm stoked about the fact that
Mexico now
we
that's kind of like, for me, how Dirty Bird.
They're both good, but there's a real difference if you get to go experience.
You hear the Dirty Bird sound. They have their own sound.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, when you hear a Dirty Bird sound, it's that sound. But then when you have a fucking Richie Hawtin sound, it's gonna be dark, you know, and like that's like that's why Richie Hart and Dub Fire like go perfect together.
Yeah.
You know? But then all of a sudden you have the Desert Heart sound.
I used to work at a record store with Dub Fire.
No way. Awesome.
In DC.
She's obsessed with
Oh my
Dub Fire.
God.
She
free techno. Do you know him from Deep Dish?
She wasn't into
Did you know that he's Deep Dish?
She's what turned me on to like
Sharam and Dub Fire. Yeah. So, like, she wasn't into electronic music until I introduced her to it.
They had I think the first song, they won a Grammy, Like, he's from a Grammy-winning, and that's how that. Yeah, no, he's obvious. It's been a long time since then.
I got into Deep Dish before I knew that they were Sharam and Dub Fire.
Yeah. So I knew them from when I was in DC, and they were Deep Dish at the time. That's how I knew them. I didn't really interact with him much.
They were amazing.
Once they split up and became, he went Dub Fire and Sharam did his thing. But when they were together as Deep Dish is when I knew them from DC.
Yeah, they were definitely ahead of the game, and like they were playing more of that like dark, minimal.
Well, they kind of invented deep house, dude. I know that's a strong statement, but I got to tell you, as far as I ever heard, because when I came out to the West Coast, I definitely felt like there was a desert vibe, a 121, maybe 118 to 122 BPM deep house, meaning pretty minimal house, but still those like. Still pretty like warm sounds, not as much techno-ish, right? And in that range, but that was like, that's like within the last 5 to 7 years, and I'm talking about Deep Dish from like, and honestly, I couldn't stand their music too. But I lived in DC, like it was too slow for me. I was into drum and bass. I was into like 135 to 140 minimal techno.
How old were you?
At the time?
Yeah.
I was in my 20s. Yeah.
There you go.
And yeah, it was all energy.
All right. So this was happening.
But I don't like it now either, dude. So it's not like I'll go. The only thing. It didn't get better with age, dude. But I've become a little more accepting of variety.
That's what I'm saying. Like you being young, like you want something more like just energy, more dude. Energy,
some aggressive.
You want to for sure. Feel it, like and that's like. Like guys, I don't like telling you what to play, but I like what my brand is like more uplifting.
Yeah.
When you come here, it's kind of the minute you walk into that fucking door, it's fucking pop. Like it's not gonna. It is a build, but it's a bigger build.
Speaking of that, though, how do you feel about like dubstep and drum and bass? Because they're high fucking energy.
I like dubstep, but I like the real like. Chill, kind of minimal, instrumental, experimental.
Were you into Skrillex when it got going? When his first?
I never really got like dubstep wasn't even dubstep before I came into that genre. Like I liked it because it was called bass music, and this started off back when I was like 16 years old. I was going to Kmart and like going through tapes and I would see like these lowrider cars with like fucking speakers and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Now bring it home.
That's like bass music pre-dubstep.
And I would put it on my friend's sound system. And it's so cool. Seeing the speaker go, I was like, oh my god, what is this? And I was like, just go into a trance. And that was like before it was even the genre, and I got really into it. But then, like there, like for instance, like drum and bass, like for instance, like oh my god, they just go.
Your friends are crushing us. They're crushing us, dude.
Dude, they are.
Cristo Lopez, seriously, you upped them on that one. But like I said, like I like all music.
I'm here to learn.
I'm here to learn. Yeah, I like all music. But when it was like when that genre was being born, it was like electro. Electro, like I was like when it came out, it was so cool. It was like robotic and natural, and it was something different about it. But it still had that like fucking Latin instrumental groove that had me going, and I would dance. Like I told you,
a lot of techno. You may know this, but a lot of techno. I mean, what was legit called techno was pure breakbeat, and not hip hop sampled breakbeat, but pure, clean. broken beat drumming, 130, 135 beat per minute. That there was a lot of techno, dude. It would not be like a weird thing to hear, a headliner techno set where half of it was, but very techno metallic sound.
That's what I said. For me, being a DJ was like, bringing in a different sound, like making it different from the other track, and just kind of building it. And like you said, like dubstep came into that picture, and I till this day I still play, like I play Groove Armada radio.
Let me ask you. So with all my own experience, but also documentaries, whatever that I've watched and consumed, the general consensus is that essentially within electronic dance music, there's either the house side, which was the soulful swing side, jazz, all
Jackie,
that, all that, anything disco, with a swing or an off-grid beat.
It's all about love.
And then there's the techno side, which was the extraction of that. Almost the revolt against it.
You can tell under official expression
on the grid, right? And that those are really the only two. Like it all is one or the other.
Like for me, it's like it's not like
even drum and bass is out of one or the other. It's not like
for me, it's like when I wanna play techno, I wanna. There's no such thing as like happy techno to me. There's more of a more uplifting.
All right.
Techno, which is like, how am I gonna bring these people up from the darkness? Like how am I gonna charge these people? And that's when I really start thinking
the darkness, because you just charge them $20.
Like a recharge.
$25.
Messing with you, dude. $25. Give straight people.
I start up at 10.
Right. There's no discounts here.
And then give them 15, 20, and 20.
We're going to do another episode. We'll get into the psychology of ticket prices.
$25.
We'll get into the psychology of ticket prices.
Up to like fucking
it's crazy, dude. What other? I gotta say this though, because it's funny to me. What other? What other thing in the world that anyone ever buys goes in the opposite economic order? Example: a ticket 60 days before the show. In many cases,
wait, with a $20 service fee?
In many cases, or I'm generalizing. I'm going to generalize big time to make my point. So a ticket, let's say a ticket to a show, 90 days before the show, will go on sale for 50% of what it will be when it becomes standard general admission. It's pretty standard, like roughly 50%.
Early bird.
What? Right. What other fucking thing in the entire planet works like that? No. Everything else, iPhones, whatever, they come out with whatever the price is. Plan. Or whatever the price is. And then, payment plans is a different situation.
They're doing it right now.
I agree. That's a funny thing. That's a cool thing, dude. Whatever, man. Let's leave payment plans out. We're talking full. We're talking full cash purchase.
You talking about credit card?
We got another episode for cryptocurrency coming up, dude. But point is, tickets to shows is the only thing where it goes the opposite direction of any other thing that people buy. Because like a phone, for example, new iPhone, Samsung, whatever comes out is like $500. Everybody lines up, buy that shit, and then 6 months later it's $300. It's the reverse. How does that work?
Well, I've had people like complain at me like, "Oh, I can't believe that you're charging $20 for an underground." I'm like, I'm sorry, man, but I don't know if you ever like figured or thrown a party before, but it's a marketing strategy. Like if you can't buy a $10 ticket and plan out that you're gonna go to this party, then you're gonna be paying $25 at the door because you waited way too long. It's an exclusive party.
I guess it's because of the event.
It's very exclusive, and the thing is the production that goes behind it. I had a guy come up to me and like, like scream, like just almost want to kick my ass. I had to get one of my securities like to back me up because I was like, he got in my face and he was like, I can't believe you're charging me $25. I'm like, bro, like you had like fucking six weeks to purchase a $10 ticket, and then you should have been here before 11 to purchase a $50 ticket, but you got here at 1:30. And me and all these people are walking by, and we're at capacity, so you can leave if you want. You know?
I think what it has to do with is I'm going to call it the apex. I'm going to call it the apex of the product. So if it's a show ticket, it's like the apex is the night of the show, right? It's the build up to that point. Versus if it's an iPhone, and granted, I'm helping answer my own psychological issues here.
Theory?
Well, right. So if it's I
think it's the promoters.
If it's a product, the apex is the fact that they started marketing, no selling, but marketing months before, and it builds up, and you can go down to Apple or Samsung or whatever and buy that shit, and that's the apex. It's the apex moment.
It's the
most value.
Yeah.
It's the most value is perceived by everybody.
It's the want. Yeah. You know, like kind of like
the want.
For instance, that's why I'm so inspired.
The peak of the want.
I'm so inspired by Desert Hearts because, you know, they've been around for like now 6 years. Because before for me it was 5 years, but now it's 6, and it was like it blew my mind away. Like
how do you get them on here?
Huh?
I think Pork Chop lives nearby.
They live in Encinitas.
Yeah.
Marbs, Mikey, his brother. You know. Yeah. But anyways, like they're a big inspiration because like they're just like this like kids that ended up liking electronic music. They saw the Daft Punk show and said, "Hey, I want to become these dudes," and they went for it. You know, and they put all the BS aside, and even though people wanted to shut them down, they still kept on doing their thing, and they're really cool, positive.
They are
kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that's what you have to be in this game. Like if you're gonna be negative, you're gonna be shut down, and you're gonna be put away.
Yeah,
and obviously get no respect at all, and that's why like when you see guys like this, like the negative guys are going to come out and try to shut them down and be like, "Oh, this guy sucks." They've only been only been doing it for 6 years, and I've been doing it for 25 years. How crazy is Lee Reynolds,
dude, with all his BMX history, all that shit? It's
actually
wild, dude. I love it. I love it.
Me and Lee Reynolds, like, I had a one-on-one because, like, you know, like, for instance,
he always apologizes when he posts that stuff. Like people don't want to see it. I'm like, dude,
for instance, me and Bob Haro, Lee Reynolds used to race for Haro.
Okay.
Haro bikes.
Yeah, he was like that was his thing as a profession.
And then when I was talking to Lee Reynolds and I told him about Barry Weaver, you know, because I wanted to bring Barry Weaver back, and he's like, I've been trying to bring Barry forever back, and we wanted to wanted to give him a good amount of money. And
right.
He didn't want to budge. He just like fucking retired and didn't want to come back to that DJ life. Yeah. And then our walls are covered with all his work because I found it in some fucking random chick's house.
All right.
Well, which is
random.
Well, for me, random, but it was her friend.
Right.
But I came in there and saw this box, and I was like, and I went through it. And it was like a stack of flyers, like this, of his whole entire life. And I was shuffling through it, and I'm like, where the fuck did you get this? And she's like, oh, that's Barry Weaver's. I'm like, what? Barry Weaver? Like I see Barry Weaver's, and then I saw Dr. Indulgent, which was Lee Reynolds on there, and I'm like,
okay.
And then I put it together, and then talked to Lee Reynolds about it, and he was like, dude, it's a treasure.
Did y'all get him to come play or do a thing?
No, nobody can get him to do a thing.
What he did a series. He did a series of CDs way back. What were those? Do you remember?
It was called Looks Good, Feels Good, Sounds Good.
Kelly Ross, Agent 137. Can we get some intel on Barry Weaver?
Can you say it?
Barry Weaver, Parry Weaver, Weaver. Yeah, she's
Lopez. You're fucking killing it with the hawkness.
But Barry Weaver, he did a series. I almost think that the CDs were on Moonshine, which was based out of LA. Yeah.
Moonshine.
They were big, dude.
I remember that.
Yeah, they were big. They were what was up. Yeah. And we'll take a little break, man. Problem. Yeah. What's up, Kelly Ross?
Oh, I don't know.
She doesn't know. What's going on in New York? What's coming up? What's going on? I mean, I know you're like completely psyched about Electric Love Music Festival.
I'm looking for Barry Weaver. There's something else on the 4th, but I can't say what it is yet. But
you can't talk yet.
Can't talk about it yet.
That's coming up pretty soon. You can't talk yet. What's going on with that?
August 4th? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, August 4th. I thought you meant July 4th. I was like, damn, that's like next week. Next week, and you can't talk about it. You need to talk to your manager.
I don't know. I don't see anything from Barry Weaver. I've got his sound.
It might be so old that it's not on the internet.
Maybe. Oh, oops, my bad.
Did you? Here's a throwback. My T-shirt's actually a throwback. Have you seen this, Kelly? Have you thought about what that is?
No, it's kind of blurry. It looks like a Pinhead grenade guy.
It's Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser Pinhead, right?
It is Hellraiser Pinhead. All
right. Oh, that's cute. But kind of bloody and gory at the same time.
Well, it's a take on Pinhead from some British, cheeky British T-shirt company that thought it would be funny to make him bleed.
Yeah, I don't see anything on Barry Weaver. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
I don't know. I think it was like Desert something, or I don't know.
It's going to be one of those ones where somebody says something.
We're taking a quick break here, and then we'll be back and wrap this thing up probably pretty soon. No. How are you going to charge that?
I don't know.
There's nowhere to charge it.
What do I put in this?
What is that connector?
A dongle.
It's a dongle for sure, but I don't know what the connector is on the other end of it. Hold on, we'll be right back. If we lose everybody, such is life.
You're just gonna leave. Jason says funky desert breaks. John Kelly on Moonshine. Moonshine Across America. That was one of them. Hi, everyone. How's it going today? This is Kelly coming from the New York studios. Since everyone just wants to leave me, why don't we just ask questions? You guys are going to shout things out in the little chat thing, and I'll just yell them out. How about that? Lord. Fine. I'm leaving, too. I'm going to the bathroom.
It's like silence for like 3 minutes. Ross just left. Ross was like, I'm not going to hang out there while they're gone with silence for like 5 minutes.
She was already there.
She's like, she totally came back because she's like, I'm not going to sit there while there's just silence, dude. Like, what are they doing, man? Like, Ross is like, we've never had complete silence on the variety show before, but I guess it's. She's like, I guess it's like the only time we've ever had silence on the show is technical difficulties.
No, that was a Millar moment.
Yeah, and a Millar moment, and then today was just like she's just like she had to disappear. She's like, I can't do this.
I was like,
I don't get it. And where did they both go? Yeah. So anyway,
I was read before.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it was awesome to be on the show, and like I said, I didn't know what to expect, but I definitely wanted to go and get to find out a little bit more about Wes.
Fuck yeah, dude. So, I think I learned a lot more about you than you learned about me, but that's kind of the point.
Well, I mean, like it's just like a little bit of.
That's the gig. Don't tell. That's the gig. Don't tell. Right. Good one.
Oh my god.
But anyways, like it was cool because like I got to meet a lot of people, on the show, and I got to a lot about them.
Get people commenting.
Yeah, I feel like it's really important, especially having like Jason Splat and Cristo on here, And,
they're funny.
Man. I mean, you got a rich history here, and I feel
we're working on it, dude.
Yeah, I feel it's important. You got to build it. You got to get the foundation down.
Stoked, dude, because I mean, it's what is it, 55 episodes?
We got a lot of good shows coming up, and I mean, I feel like it's important, like that people have to like, actually understand what the movement that's going on.
Yeah, and
like Jason and like Cristo has been like doing all kinds of stuff, and then like you wonder like why hasn't anybody at Dance Classic have thrown a party, and they are
doing some now.
Yeah, they threw it after 20 years, and it was awesome, and it was like I lost track of time when I was like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was 4:45.
Is that the Mind Fruit?
No, yeah. That's John Pavlum. I just recently started working with him. And I'm excited to work with this guy. He's super cool, and he knows what he's doing.
Nice. Yeah,
you need people like that
for sure. Their production's tight.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why like those guys like crossing paths is cool. But I always ask myself like, man, how come they've never really done anything? But then I answer.
Well, now there is.
I answer it because they did Wednesday.
I gotta get Joe on here,
dude. Joe's cool. Like
he and I have played together like maybe 5 or 6 times. We're gonna play a Contact, dude.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
I'm gonna
hit him. I'm gonna hit him while we're at Contact.
Yeah, me and Joe had like a little one-on-one. Like we did a show together with Tomas Ideal. It was me and him, and he was on the road. Like he's been like fucking killing it. He did like fucking.
I need Joe. I need Donald Thump. He's coming.
Cool.
I hung out with him at Genius Loki this time, so we got some time to vibe on that. Chris Herrera, I love that.
Who do you think? Rufio, who do you think we should have on?
Yeah, all those guys. Like you should definitely have all those guys. And like I would definitely want to know more about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I have started building a relationship with the United by Bass guys. Me and Brandon Garva like have rich history.
Dude, they were a gong show. We had them on here. They were a fucking trip, bro.
Yeah, me and Brandon like we were going to raves back in the day, and he's from North County, and we were doing all kinds of crazy shit out there.
Nice.
And it's funny.
I should have Brandon on by himself.
Yeah, you should.
We had Tyler, and then we had some of the younger squad, Matt and Colin.
He's really cool, and it was like actually cool watching him grow up into what he is now, and that's why it came full circle. And
cool.
He reached out to me, and I told him like, bro, do you remember that we were like raving like fucking 17?
Yeah, dude.
And did you ever imagine us throwing the craziest fucking parties?
Yeah.
But
awesome.
San Diego, the market's there.
It's got to be awesome.
It's there, and they're doing it.
Who else? Can you think of anybody else that rolls through that?
I'm in this. There's tons of us.
I should get drunk and have them reveal all their secrets.
Yeah, right. You gotta get the main guys there, but there's also like the dancers.
Dude, I'm gonna get like guys from.
You gotta get
a couple kids. There's a couple kids from Basement.
You gotta get the dancers, which is Vin. Vin, he was a part of my dance like culture and scene, and he actually was trying to learn my moves, but at the same time create his own style. And he would come. He would definitely be cool. Yeah, he was coming up to me, and you gotta have the dancer side of it too. You got.
Well, I got a couple of the girls that I don't know if you know Bianca or they've done some photo. I've used some of their photos on releases, and that's how I met them, and then met them other places. But
it's a
lot of people that work for Insomniac. Younger squad. Bianca. Yeah, her. Yeah, and Jess O'Donnell. She's up from LA.
You gotta get the dancers behind it. You gotta get the dancers behind it because that's who I was before.
And Pride's coming up. And
I like that.
But
and I want to get some of the sound guys too. Like I know Chino pretty well
Bass
now.
Mechanic, Brian Porterfield,
Art.
Now that
Art,
would be
Cruise Coalition.
Dude. Like with bass or Brian Porterfield.
Dude, he's a trip, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to get him on the show.
But I definitely cool. So like some sound guys, some dance people.
I would love because he's more than a sound guy.
Oh, totally. But they all are. They're all really into the culture.
They've done.
But the thing they're doing is for their living or their sound. Is music. Well, it's like dancing or sound reinforcement or lighting.
They were at a peak at some point.
Production stuff.
And like I said, the scene went up and down, and they're still there.
Mm-hmm.
They're still there, and they're just like, "Are you ready to come out?" Then I actually wanted to work with him on a bunch of projects, like bigger projects, and that's something I'm still working on with him right now because, like I said, all right, I got the people, we got the lighting guy, you're the sound guy. I can't afford your sound all the time, but if we can all come together and do something badass.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm totally intrigued with the backside, I guess, of all of what goes on. There's so much big and small things that go on in Southern California.
It's a business
I think a lot lot of the world looks at.
You got to really invest yourself into it.
I think it's really cool.
I feel like that's why I feel really lucky to have that side of it.
Yeah.
Like my background with the restaurant.
Yeah.
I had to make $30,000 a month to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And that was really hard to do. My mom couldn't do it because she was just the cook.
Okay.
And I had to take care of my family, so that's why all this came into play, and I started learning about it. I went to school and I started taking marketing classes and all that. And then after that was gone and done, I wanted to start a record label, and I was like, how do I do that? So I went on YouTube.
Yeah.
and
Jesus, what happens if you type in how to start a record label on YouTube, bro?
Their fucking formula was the same as a restaurant. What's your product? How are you gonna promote it and do this?
Who's your team? How do you differentiate?
And I was like, dude, I
don't know.
I'm I've been doing this for the past 17 years, and then as you get deep into it, you're talking surveys, asking people, what do you like? Do you like this? Do you like that? Why are you here? Who told you about this? And all that comes into play, and then you make it work out. And she's seen me, and I told her ask your friends, how'd they hear about it, and that's where That's why how
did they hear about it?
Yeah, that's why when it comes to Instagram and Facebook, when people go oh, how come you don't put it on Instagram? I do, but I don't have the same reaction as I have on Facebook, because on Instagram, people like your stuff or heart it.
They don't comment.
But on Facebook, you have them
To me, the heart, the heart or the like or the thumbs up is kind of what's up.
But the difference is when you have an event page.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference when you have interested in going. The interested are the people that are just The people that are going are the people that are no. They're more into it. So if you look at my track record,
ticket buyers.
If you look at my track record, any of my event pages, you'll notice that there's a big difference between interested and going. And then you go on other people's event pages, and they're the interested is at 500, and the going is at 100.
Yeah.
And then you go on my event pages, and it's at 400, and the interested is at 120.
Well, it's great. You've got the ratios flipped around.
But that's how I keep track that I know that I'm doing my job. The reason why is because I came into contact right away with them. I got on their page and said, hey, Are you coming to my party? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. Let's get on Facebook now. Oh, I don't do Facebook. I do Instagram. Okay, cool. We'll do Instagram.
Well, you're definitely. I will say you're definitely a social guy, not per se for me social media guy, but you do that too. But very sociable personality. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You got to be a people person, you know.
Yeah.
One of my partners that I just partnered up with to bring Alexander Technique. He's one of my really good friends, and he's not. I mean, he's social, very social, and that's how I brought in Alexander Technique. But he's social to the right people in some crazy reason, but he won't talk to anybody else.
Huh.
So when it came down to throwing the party, it's like, okay, we got to promote this party, we got to do this thing, but he wasn't talking to anybody. And it's like, dude, but the thing is, he's the muscle behind it, you know. And so him being the muscle behind it is like him doing the lighting and like, you know, like, and doing security and doing like, I mean, there's a whole other side of it, you know. So that's where, like, you know, it's like a transformer. You know, when your powers combine, you know, you are Captain Planet, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how it works, and that's why we were so successful with our last party, you know, even though, you know, he wasn't good on the social media, but I told him, like, hey, I'll take care of that part. I'll bring up the numbers and do that, but this is our goal. Goal is to reach 400 going, and another one, and we reached it.
I'm ready to do Thanksgiving, dude.
Yeah.
I'm up in that, dude.
You should.
I'll probably. I'm most likely.
I've
only got shit sorted out through like September right now, but then you know that's
keep it up.
September, October, November.
Keep it up. That's going to be a massive party.
Well, because we've talked a few times about doing something.
Yeah, you should definitely hit that up, and I definitely want to put you in the mix.
We'll find something.
You know, we already have like something already going, but at the
Why do you do it 2019? 2019.
No, we're doing it 2018.
I know you're doing it. I'm just saying for me.
Well, you already booked up for 2018?
No. I said through September. At this point, like basically through September.
Okay.
But that's later.
Yeah, November.
Yeah, dude.
Later.
Like I said, like it's
Kelly's laughing.
Yeah, I mean, like that day. I know he's hustling right now. He's like.
What do you mean? The whole entire 3 hours is hustling.
No, like I said, like, you know, like, you know, we already have John Reynolds on board. We have Chris Herrera. We have Joe P. We have Matthew Bryan. Like, all these guys are doing, like, dope shit.
Absolutely.
So right now, I'm like, now that I have them on board, I told them, like, all right, I'm already giving you, like, fucking 6 months in advance. Like, you're doing the show with me. And they're like, damn.
I just do dope shit with a lower frequency.
All right.
I'm
totally down with that. I'm totally down with that. You know, and it's going to be the party is starting off at 2 p.m. and it's going till 5 a.m.
Either way, I would definitely want to, because I haven't been to one yet. I just want to come to one.
Oh, well, this one's...
I'm trying to make sure I'm in.
This is a different one, you know. I'm still trying to work it out.
Cool, man.
But I have plenty of time to do it.
All right.
So you got to come to one of my super underground parties.
I definitely do. 100%, dude.
All right, July 21st.
Yeah, I told you I'm going to be here already. Coming out, hanging out.
See what's going on.
What about Kelly?
She's in New York, dude. You know.
Make sure you wear black.
Wear black. Dude, I'm getting some black lipstick, dude.
I have some.
Yeah. Of course you do. So anyway, you know, we'll wrap it up, dude. This might be the longest episode we've ever had. Kelly, have we broken the record?
No, not yet. Keep going.
What's the longest ever?
I don't know. Really long.
You gotta look at the episodes. What's the longest ever?
Hey, we got
that's one person.
We just broke 3 hours.
We got
3 fucking hours, dude.
No, I'm pretty sure.
What kind of weirdo are you, dude?
We got Lou's triptych on here.
Huh?
No. We started at 9. We didn't start until 9.
I'm looking at the actual go live feed in the console. It's 3 hours and 1 minute.
You know what's crazy is that I had Lou's triptych. Met him at a rave, and he ended up at my house. You know who Lou's triptych is?
Yeah.
So he ended up at my house, and I was spinning vinyl, and I was playing records, and he was like, good. And then he's like, you have to come to play one of my shows, and he had a company called Audio Impact, and that's when he barely started it. And then that kind of branched out into what he's doing right now. So it's kind of cool that this guy's tuning in because like
right, dude,
yeah, he saw the history.
Dude, I gotta get up early, drive out to desert fucking hot springs and help them set up those stages.
Oh shit!
I committed.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I
committed. So you're building.
So I'm gonna leave at like 8. Well, I hope them load today, and then I'm gonna go. I don't know. I'm trying to get out here by 8. It takes like 2 to 3 hours to get there. They're gonna start at 12. Things like that, man. You know, I gotta go. I'm gonna go watch a shark movie or something. I like shark movies. Jaws.
I have a
Dude, we're totally gonna have a show one time and just have people hang out and watch like Jaws.
There's no blackfish again.
Or blackfish. Maybe
we got a shark in our
We'll just go live as if we're gonna talk, and then we'll get all silent, turn the lights out, and watch blackfish. We'll probably have copyright problems.
There's a documentary on Glastonbury you can watch called Lost in Vagueness.
Already. All right. Well, people, thank you so much for joining us throughout the night. Over there.
Over here. Over there.
Agent 137, Kelly Ross, Got Juice.
Jessica.
The comment.
Juice Night Out, Canada. Coming up. Get your tickets.
Get your tickets now.
Canada, man.
Tier 5. They're Tier 5.
Tier 5. Jump in the river. Camp. Hang out with us.
It just got extra hot in here.
That's the extra.
I felt it.
I think it's the IPA.
It's the cooling. It's the IPA.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on the air, guys.
Awesome having you, brother. Yeah, we're gonna close this thing down. Hang out for a minute or two while I finish my Hess Big Mouth. And
unofficial sponsor.
Kelly, you're
the unofficial sponsors. And for all you fine people out there, check out Rock the Discotheque.
Enter the tech.
Actually, Rock the Discotheque. Enter the Tech. Enter the Tech.
July 7th.
Thanksgiving.
Check it out.
July 7th.
Lots of things. Enter the Tech.
We got
and
July
East
7th.
West Smith Yo. Those are the two things. Yeah, you're good.
July 7th.
Square. We got it. Kelly, are we good?
July 21st.
We're good.
Kelly Ross, did we do it? Did we do it right?
Stay classy.
Oh shit! Oh wait, stay classy, yo.
Stay classy, yo.
That's how you can find all the things.
Stay classy.
We just have to, as usual, at the end of this thing, we have to figure out how to shut this thing off. How do we shut it off, Kelly?
I don't know. I'm not in charge anymore.
You're like, wait, it's not my. You're like, wait, it's not my problem.
See you later, Maddie.
We just go to this. Later, people.
I'm not in charge anymore.